Okay.
All right, so basically what we're going to do is try and remember 10 years of our existence as a band.
As best as we can.
And it will be full of ups and downs and things that we get upset about internally, but also things we're really happy about.
Because let's all start with our names and our turn-ons and turn-offs.
All right. I think
Discussion.
to discuss our whole band's career, we need to set the preface that this is just what we remember. We don't remember much. We're not guaranteeing that we remember it all. But what we do remember is...
I'm also not even saying that some of this happened.
And what I can
I mean?
confirm is in 2011, I didn't even come into the band till halfway through. So I'm going to let you take it from the get-go.
Yeah, what do you remember?
Actually, Luke should take it from the get-go.
You were the get-go man.
Okay, so it all began... How did it begin? I think honestly, it might be because I think you would have a clearer picture because I think you saw it slightly from the schoolyard and then
I did. It was looking in from the outside. It was different.
I'd hit the big time.
Yeah. So
and you wanted a piece.
I mean, it's fine to put it that way if that's what happened.
So when we were really mature men. Of the ripe age of 14, I think maybe 15 at this point. No, still 14, I think. Luke had started posting videos on YouTube, and you had this beautiful blue acoustic. You had these fantastic purple speakers that
pink.
They were pink.
Yeah.
Okay,
fake fan.
He had these beautiful pink speakers that sat behind you. In every video that you would make on Liz Hemming's iMac, and I just remember, as I was looking at you and I was looking at you making videos and you singing, I was like, shouldn't be doing this without me. It's not fair. You can't go this far without me. I was like, and then I really had a great chance at making Luke feel like he was nothing without me. That's great.
At first, he was the manager.
Yeah, which was really great at first. really strengthened our relationship. But no, you were posting videos on YouTube, and they were great, man. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, thanthey
They were awesome.
Very husky voice
Yeah,
going on.
You were still kind of coming into your voice.
You can say it.
No, they were dope. They were dope. And I just remembered as people were looking at your videos online, I had known that we'd always talked about starting a band or whatever, and then we were like, this is kind of a cool opportunity to do something cool. And then I think we started doing covers together. Which, to be fair, I made them much worse. I'm totally aware. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Part of what I do best is I'm very self-aware. And
it says here you did a Blink-182 cover.
We did I Miss You, and that was when I again, playing bongos. Again, I know, terrible ideas all round, but that's why you love me, of course.
Oh, yeah, so was this Blink cover was not... This was there's a third component in this cover, I believe.
That was, I believe, Mr. Hood.
Oh, yes. No, yeah. And I saw you guys from the outside. I'm like, these guys shouldn't have made it this far without me. So I've come in, and you've turned around in music class, and I had my long, luscious, golden brown hair flowing.
Wait, hold on. I don't think you can change the story like this.
Okay. Yeah, I had a pretty shitty haircut.
You had a little fuzzy.
And you turned around, and I'm pretty sure it was pretty simple. You just said you want to make a band with me and Luke.
I was like, hey, you want to join?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, sure. But then there was the awkward conversation about 24 hours later where we were like, well, we can't all play guitar.
No, we can't.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yes.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
So we're in woodwork class. I think it's called wood shop here. It was woodwork.
Wood shop. We were in the wood shop.
And I was like very awful at it, like surprisingly bad at putting things. I can't build anything.
At woodwork,
Yeah, as you can tell from my very masculine appearance, it's very surprising to a lot of people that I'm not a very good builder. Did not run in the family. And I remember we're sitting down with... this is quite offensive to you, Cal. So, but you were 14, so
No, it's not. I shred bass now.
yeah.
So
no, okay, cool. We're ended up in a good place.
No, I agree. This is really offensive.
Sorry, man.
Okay, you want me to leave for this part?
Yeah, if you could
Should I leave?
And we're in woodwork, and we're at the table. We probably finished there. I don't know, or not. I don't know why we were just sitting out there on our own. But Hayden, our friend at school, he's like a tall, athletic type.
Can
guy.
you keep explaining him so we can draw an animation of him?
Yeah. Hayden, he had babyish cheeks. He was
Oh,
very
almost chipmunkish.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like
But not.
handsome.
Caleb was more of the chipmunk, I think.
Okay.
His
Yeah.
cheeks were very like bulbous
They were-
for
they-
some reason.
Yeah, rosy as well.
Yeah.
Nice,
Bulbous.
nice short little blonde haircut. It's
Yeah.
good man.
And we were sitting down and we were talking about somehow we got on the topic of like who's gonna
Yeah.
what are we gonna do in the
They're
band?
like, all right, let's call the band Reverse.
oh yeah, we were stuck in reverse at this
reverse.
Stuck
point.
in Reverse, yeah,
And-
as was every band
Eh,
in the local Sydney community.
And bulbous cheeks bulbous cheeks Hayden McKinnon goes, well we'll
Look out.
Jesus Christ. Who's gonna play bass? And he was
Mhm.
like, oh, we don't know yet. We weren't ready for this conversation. First band conflict.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is
Stuck
awkward.
in reverse's downfall.
Already
Yeah.
going in reverse.
My
And
first
he's-
question was, what is bass?
That was Gallus' first question.
He said, who's the worst at guitar?
Okay,
And
I should have left. I should have left. For me.
And then we look over at Callum, and a single tear falls from his eye, and he goes, "Guys, I'll take this one."
Take the fall. To be fair, I was the worst.
But yeah,
worst isn't maybe maybe not as practiced yet.
Not as practiced.
Not as nimble. You're very good at acoustic, but not
Thanks,
as good.
man.
Not as good
Not
on the
as
electric.
practiced. Yeah.
You
No,
could sh-
but then I
yeah.
was like, all right, well, this is my time to shine
And-
as the only bassist in the band.
and that was
That's very rare in a band.
it's
It is rare.
that's a great origin story for Callum Hood.
It's bordering on villain origin story.
Almost.
It's like
It still could be.
It's very villain. It is villain origin.
it is bordering on it.
And then
what
and
happened?
then after that, we had talked about, how do we get a little more serious as a band? We looked at each other. What do bands do? And we all collectively decided that we have no fucking idea. And then we decided,
The band went on hiatus.
and then I think we were like, what could be great is a drummer, to make music.
Yeah.
And then we were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's dive in. And we reached out on Facebook and we started to book a gig.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
we were
How
like,
did this gig happen? Because I honestly have no idea.
someone had reached out and said that there's an opportunity for us to play a gig in a cinema.
Oh my God, the gig before the gig.
That and this was the
Oh my
the
God.
pre-gig,
I'd
the
forgotten about
warm-up gig, and we were like, okay, well, I'm sure it'll be massive. What do we have on YouTube? 10,000 subscribers. That's massive.
10,000 people there were off to the races.
10,000 people.
Usually how it works.
Perfect. So yeah, we went to the cinema and we were gonna play, and then we said, cool. We rehearsed. The day before, Callum said, "Hey guys, I can't come. I got soccer practice."
I did though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking villain shit right there.
Yeah. You were already hoping for the downfall from the beginning.
What did we play at that gig?
We played Panic at the Disco Mona Lisa.
It's good.
We played
I would think the main would be on there somewhere, maybe.
I
yeah.
remember practicing on the train with our acoustics.
Yeah.
A Mayday Parade song,
Mm-hmm.
"Kids in Love" or something I really like. Not their big song.
Yeah, like we played deep cuts, but that was okay.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why people gravitated towards us. They want you.
it showed that we were fans of music. And then after that was a complete fucking train wreck. But to be fair, people showed up. They listened. My hair was down to my fucking chin, and I didn't look up once. It was great.
Yeah, we hit the
Great.
straightener that day.
Great learning experience.
How many people were there?
I don't remember.
I honestly
I
don't
think
know.
maybe about 20.
I feel like there were. Yeah.
Maybe 20. Which is pretty good.
So we've
It
been
is
lying.
It's not bad.
good.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this one ever.
Well, because it didn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
It didn't really count. It was just like me and you showing up at a cinema with 2 acoustic guitars. And then after that, we were like, that went so great. Let's book a real gig.
How did we get the gig at?
Again,
Orlando?
Facebook. I forget his name. Yeah, he messaged me and he was like, yeah, dude, since the cinema gig went so great, you wanna play at the Annandale? Yeah, it was like, you wanna play at the Annandale? And
That's a big gig.
yeah, and obviously before messaging you guys back, I had accepted, of course. I knew it was right for the band.
True manager style.
And then after that, we had realized, okay, let's start playing, and we got out the electric guitars and got a bass for you that said "I love Mut." Nice little piece of wood.
Well,
that
I think
was.
that was even after Ashton joined the band, because that was Ashton's bass.
Oh, that was Ashton's.
I didn't
bass.
even have a bass.
You didn't have
Yeah,
one.
how did you get...
Didn't we borrow one from school?
I think we stole a guitar from school,
Yeah.
and we were just using it to play the bass notes. Yeah, yeah.
What?
You're nodding.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good story. Kate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have the guitar.
I love to
One that
add-
you stole?
Again, the villain
Cool.
adding thievery.
Yeah, this villain origin story is really coming to life. And then after we got together, we realized, okay, we really need a drummer. More than we needed one before. Now that we have a gig booked, we definitely need one. And I think for some reason Ashton was like he was
Local legend.
he was like a name that
Honestly
had
was.
floated
He
around
honestly was,
between like when it came to drumming in our area. It was
So, just
it
to be
was
clear, drumming or drumming?
drumming.
Drummers need you.
Yeah, it was
Want bands now.
It was it was very much a legendary tale of this Ashton Irwin, and I reached out
On
to
Facebook.
I reached out to find him.
Thanks,
The best place that I knew, which had led me to so many other fruitful endeavors. That was Facebook, and I sent a message, and it would be nice to pull the message up right now.
It said...
I remember I sent it to you a few years ago.
I remember exactly what you said. You said, "What's up? Heard about you through my mate Chris."
Yeah.
Chris
and,
went to our school.
And Mike says, "Hey, there's probably going to be about 200 people at our first gig.
It's gonna be
It'd
fucking massive.
Be a pleasure to play with you. There's no guaranteed spot in the band, but we're doing a rehearsal
Did
this
you
Thursday."
already say there's no guaranteed spot in the band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made it.
awesome.
I made it clear, bro.
Wow.
I didn't want to be like,
No,
hey,
because at this point in time, it was a trio,
yeah, and we'd never met him.
and I was essentially sessioning,
Yeah.
which was cool with me.
Interesting.
So I had a car and stuff, and I was just trying to get gigs at the time. I didn't have a car yet, actually.
I remember you replied and you said, "Hey, bro, sounds good. I got nothing better to do."
yeah, I have
That
nothing
was
better.
that
Right,
was.
that's all.
Fine. That's
okay.
literally what you would say now if someone asked you that same question.
I still say that when people ask me to play drums. I say I got nothing better to do. I'd love to, and I'm still. I mean, Anyways, so I show up at rehearsal. I meet Callum for the first time. There's an electric drum kit. I'm sweating balls. It's Australia,
so hot.
and I rode my bike from Richmond to Quakers Hill.
Which, to
so-
put in perspective,
Is a big ride. I may as well have been training for the Tour de France. But and I showed up and parked my Huffy in the driveway. I had some drumsticks with me, like a true legend.
Mm-hmm.
of course.
I was wearing my purple shirt, which you all then went on to traumatize me.
Yeah. So imagine,
it was poor. I was poor as shit.
imagine
And I could only afford 2 T-shirts.
Imagine
and y'all
a-
teased me
a
about
nice thin cotton purple shirt that's with a really really deep V-neck.
Yeah.
Deep V. Jersey
Like
Shore V.
what Barney would wear on his off day,
Who's Barney?
like Barney the dinosaur.
Right. So you're still teasing me. That's great. So I walk in, and they have an electric drum kit, and we're in Mike's granny flat, and he proceeds to tell me how to play drums.
I was like, "Hey, bro, so
Hey,
the
bro.
songs that we're playing, they're gonna sound something like this." And I remember you definitely smiling and nodding. You were like, "Mm-hmm, sounds good."
yeah,
You're
as a good session guy does.
Like, great, man.
And I met Callum for no, Callum didn't show up again. He wasn't there.
I think I had soccer practice.
Soccer practice.
Callum was splitting his worlds, but so we did this rehearsal. We played "Gotta Get Out,"
Mm-hmm.
which was
The song
on our,
that Callum
which
wrote.
was on our first EP. And I was like, "Where is this Brian Wilson-esque guy?" He's like,
Yeah, wow.
writing-
Very mysterious.
He's writing all these songs for the band, but he doesn't show up for the gigs.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my world.
And we learned "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry, but we added a metal breakdown because we were aware of our audience.
Yeah,
We were aware that we were playing a hardcore meetup with other heavy bands that do breakdowns.
Yep.
And we
Mm.
knew we needed some monstrous energy involved, so
Yep.
we chose Katy Perry.
Yep,
What
that's
the fuck?
totally great pick. And then we did an amazing cover of "Rolling in the Deep" by
Yep.
Adele.
which was firing.
which was really going off, and the crowd was loving it. Nobody realized I was playing in a completely different key, but
Which was kind of psychedelic.
exactly, it added like a cool,
Yeah.
like a nice little friction.
Bit of tension.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
So now we come to December 3rd.
I feel like I remember something when Callum maybe wasn't even there, so this is probably part of the villain story as well. After Ashton left the first rehearsal, I remember I don't remember much, but I remember he comes to me going like, "What do you think?"
I do.
And I said, "I think he's sick." I think
After, and we only did about 2 rehearsals, I think.
yeah, and I feel like we knew straight away. We were like, "Oh yeah, this is the guy."
Yeah,
This is the guy for
I
sure.
remember I was like, "What do you think? Could he be in the band?" and I remember you being like, "Yeah, he could, but he has to meet Callum first." That was what you said.
Oh,
Yeah,
Thanks, man. Hey.
That's good.
I got sweaty hands.
you really did.
Yeah.
And then
And he didn't know your shit because you don't turn up. You don't even show up yet.
Yeah, well, I did have something better to do.
yeah,
At the
you
time.
let's play soccer.
That's very funny. Yeah, much
And
more
then-
promising.
And
At
then I
that
said
point, to be fair.
and then I said to Luke, "Anyway, you want to play guitar here?" And we were like, "Yeah."
We
you
fucking
should.
shredded it.
Which was kind of the band's main hustle until about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Guitar
Oh,
Hero.
yeah.
Guitar Heroing.
It's
Yeah.
incredibly recent.
Getting good at
To
easy.
be fair, in the beginning, well, I guess that's more of a 2012 thing, but
Yeah, we'll hold up for a
yeah,
second.
yeah, yeah.
So we're still in 2011. Now we play this gig on December 3rd at this pub, and it's I guess it's a pretty well-known pub for breaking smaller bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was part of the Sydney scene, and that was our first time ever we kind of played in an official venue. And I showed up. I went with your mum,
We drove together.
I think.
We carpooled.
No,
We
I,
carpooled.
Yeah,
And-
I
and-
drove with you too.
And I think it's important to know that Luke's mum was Ashton's math teacher
Oh my
at
god.
his school.
Yeah. So it was weird hanging out with Liz outside of school hours.
Yeah.
But
That's fucking crazy.
but I was also happy Liz was observing my side hustle.
That's nice.
Why you're tired at school, Ash? Well, you're a part of my other life as well.
Well, now you know.
Now you
Was
know.
was she teaching you like the year of that gig, or was
The year before.
the year before?
Hmm.
And I'd never met you. I don't know how we didn't meet.
Yeah.
Playing the same pubs.
But then we played the show, and then y'all asked me to join the band. He asked me to join.
Yeah.
I
So
think I literally got down on one knee.
You did.
you did. So we get to the gig, and we were in the I'm not even going to call it backstage because it was just a room. And I remember we were back there, and we would be like, "How many people are here? What's going on out there?" And all of our parents were there. I think most of them were there. And I think I remember Liz being like, "It's not too many yet." And like, "Oh, okay." You know.
Oh, she's just so brutally
Our
honest.
parents were
Oh.
our parents were really brutal about it.
Yeah.
Is anyone there? Not a soul. Not a soul. They'd say. Why are
Yeah.
you doing this? This is a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, and then the support video goes on, and we're like, "Wow, they must be playing to such a massive audience. How many people are out there?" We can't believe we have a support band. This is amazing. And this is my dream. And they go, "All right, guys, there's maybe about 8 or 9 people." And we're like, "Oh, okay."
1,000?
Like, 8 or 900. Where are we at with that? And then, anyway, and then we go on stage, to a very, very solid crowd of 12 people.
But they were keen.
By God, they really made us feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
They really did.
They were really keen. They were ready to get involved in whatever we threw at them.
In whatever it was,
Yeah.
we
What
had
did
no idea what was
What did
going
we
on.
open with? Do we have a set list?
Yeah, we played 4 songs.
That's a pretty short set, isn't it?
Fucking
That's
hell.
a
No,
hard, we
because
drive a hard bargain, don't we?
Didn't we? No, we had a full like acoustic part as well.
We did do an
The acoustic
section.
thing was our main thing in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we were like, we gotta have an acoustic
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would treat the acoustic part as the main part, and the electric part was like,
Just like the additions.
we're trying this out.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when Bob Dylan started using electric guitars
Yeah.
sparsely.
And everyone was
We-
like,
It's actually
We were like, we don't know
Rolling
if it's
Stone wrote the
very
same
good.
thing.
Yeah,
That's how we're compared.
and it looks like on here it took us 2 weeks to get a cover in the bag with a drummer after the show.
yeah. And so the gig ended, and it was great. And then we went outside to take pictures with the people who were there.
Thousands.
And there was thousands of them. I think they dwindled by that point as well, and there were maybe 7 by that point.
The hard gig to get to Annandale. No buses.
It's not easy.
No public transport.
Yeah,
Not
that's
easy.
probably what it was.
On a really busy
so.
road.
And then we get out there, and then we look at Ashton, and we said, "Wow, this gig went so well."
You're great. We're great.
We really sold it. Really sold it. Like, do you want this opportunity, man? No, we didn't actually. Callum got down on one knee
Yeah.
in the street and said, "Ashton, will you join the band?"
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I've got nothing better to do.
There you go.
I may as well.
I actually. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I don't want to add
I'll
to the
go.
villain
Yeah.
story.
No, you go.
So, yep, you're gonna. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a good joke. It's a good bit, Cal.
Yeah, go on, yeah, so.
The guy with the blonde hair that opened for us, I can't for the life of me remember his name, but I remember him coming up to, or messaging, or coming up after it, because I remember we were trying to be like Green Day and Blink and like, all those bands and be like a rock band, and we had the acoustic thing. We knew we had to do that for a while to get to the electric thing, and I remember him coming up to me after and being like, you guys should maybe just stick to the acoustic thing. It's like insinuating that the electric part was really bad.
really bad.
But we knew that.
To be fair, he probably was right.
No,
Yeah.
It probably sucked.
he definitely was.
Yeah, and that's
Bit of a shitty thing to say to 14-year-olds,
like
though, isn't it?
definitely a fucking way to really shut a bunch of kids down.
Anyway,
And then we ripped this teenage dirtbag cover in your living room around Christmas time.
around the Christmas tree.
mate, the marketing was already there.
And Ashton came with something that would go on to live in legends. Do you want to talk about the Kahan?
No, man, it seems like you have a good
So
stance on it.
I think he really brought it to the mainstream audience. And to be fair, quite a versatile little thing that Kahan is.
See?
It became a fucking staple for years to come.
Yeah.
Years to come, and then
Yep.
going forwards in years. I remember we'd show up to radio stations and stuff, and then Ashton would have this, and to explain what it is, it's a box, and when you hit the top, it makes a higher pitched noise, and then you hit the bottom, and it makes a lower pitched noise.
Bass noise, yeah.
Really, really,
So, yeah.
yeah, it's
Insinuating kick and snare.
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Insinuating.
And
yes.
for years to come, we would walk into radio stations, and they'd be like, "Oh, Ashton, you're sitting on a box," for years and years. But you know what? Kind of fucking legendary. Kind of was a good fucking like.
Whatever, man.
I think it was dope.
I feel like we're moving at such high speeds. It only warranted a box.
Right? Are you gonna bring a whole kit into?
No,
you
no,
want to
you're
chuck
not.
that thing in a
They
fucking.
wouldn't let me.
You wanna chuck that
But
thing
they
in the back
also
of the
wouldn't let me
car.
not show up at acoustic gigs.
Exactly. They were like, "We need all 4 of you."
Oh my god, yeah, if we can get a big montage of every time Ashton's ever hit a cajon.
But
or cajon.
2011 was really exciting. It was a really exciting year for us.
It was, and it was like a year of us just figuring it out, And when you start doing that stuff as like so young, you really do just need it. Like we needed it to work, and we just
Yeah, and we were always receptive to whatever came our way. We didn't judge it. We just used things as good opportunities.
yeah.
So we, I thought it was cool how you guys let me kind of do this first cover with you, because it really did change really quick, and you guys were very adaptive, which was great. And you understood the steps to build a band, which was,
Totally.
no one tells you how to do it.
You just figure
and,
it
and
out.
you guys felt it out, and you found somebody that fit.
Yeah, and I think when you joined, that was when we actually realized, oh shit, okay, let's try this properly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Let's stop
But
fucking around.
But you didn't really know me very well.
But we didn't need to.
No, but my whole motivations already were lined up with y'all.
Exactly.
I wanted to be in a band.
Yeah.
I'd already been in about 7,
Yeah.
and I was like doing that thing, so I was comfortable with it. But I had already. It was lucky that I had become frustrated with the non-action
Right.
in other bands. So by the time I made it to y'all, I was like, this has to be it.
We were like, let's.
This has to
Fucking
be
do
the
it.
band that actually is gonna work.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's interesting actually, because it was our first, like we've been like, around a little bit, but
Mhm.
like you'd actually been in, I didn't think about it like that. You've been in lots of bands and with people that are probably, like us when you met us, like kind of, could do stuff, but, we're kind of dicking about a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is something special.
Yeah.
Because you definitely knew there was something special about it, but
Well, I'd been in bad bands.
yeah. I mean, not, yeah.
Y'all
I
were a
didn't
good
know.
band. To some extent.
I think that's
To some extent. In some areas, we were okay.
yeah. I mean, December 16th. I mean, really, that's where we had the perception of like us as a group.
Yeah.
That was like the first time where people were like, "Oh, okay, this is an actual thing."
Like
This
there's
is
4
a
of them now,
band."
and it's starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah. And we, by God, we ripped Teenage Dirtbag.
And you know what? Just out of my memory, shout out to Norway and Sweden. On the internet, you guys were holding it down the most.
Sweden was, weren't they?
Out of all of it.
I remember,
And I
yeah.
remember those stats gave us meaning to like keep doing it more because it was like,
We
oh,
looked it
people are
out.
actually.
We looked at the YouTube analytics,
Yeah.
and it was like majority Sweden, Norway, and that was when we had the idea of like, well, if people overseas are seeing this, then let's like keep trying.
We wanted to be a touring
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was like a clear indication that we could go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the time where so many people were doing like YouTube things, and we, I don't know how, but like, because we, like, you're right, we wanted to be like a live band, and like we wanted to play shows, and because we had like Facebook and on the last gig and being like, oh, you know, this many people are coming, but then only 12 showed up, or like, well, all these other YouTube people never can, well, not never, but I find it really hard to get a live following. So we knew like that's what we want to do. We want to have people come to the show because we knew what it felt like having people not come to the show. So how do we like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it was because we did the acoustic stuff
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that, you know, really warranted us to actually have time to grow behind the scenes. You know?
Definitely. And that's 2011.
2011, baby.
And then what did you guys get for Christmas
I was
that
gonna
year?
say, what did we get for
I think I
Christmas?
got another guitar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that was when I got my Gibson Les Paul custom, which
Oh,
we'll get to that.
yeah,
soon.
Oh no!
yeah, we'll talk about
Oh no! The first band fight.
that. Oh,
Cut.
jeez.
Yeah, the year the world was supposed to end.
Yep. Turns out it didn't.
Wow.
It was just the beginning. Wait, so you got 2012 tattooed on you, but the band started in.
Fuck, I forgot what year.
Other side. 12.
12. Why did I get 12?
I mean, to be fair,
I think it was. I think it was more of a personal thing of like things that happened within my life.
Yeah, let's dive into that heavy.
Should
Okay.
Should we talk about that stuff? first? So first of all, with 2012, as 2012 rolls around and we come into 2012 as
Coming off the back of a big year.
coming off the back of a really massive Q4 of 2011 for us. I've looked at the band and I said, you know what, guys, we really need to get rolling with the times. We need to make it Twitter. We started.
You were right there.
We started 5 Secs of Summer. We couldn't get 5 Sauce. We couldn't get 5 Seconds of Summer. That was too long. It was a whole bunch of things. So
Was
we
it because fans already had the name?
Yes, they stole it.
So the Swedish are to blame.
Yeah, we blame the Swedes for this. And then we move into it, and as a 4-piece, we go, all right, let's start making some big moves here. Let's kick off 2012 right. So we go, let's book another gig. The last one was so amazing. Let's do it again. And we book another gig at the Annandale Hotel. This time, there's lots more bands playing.
Yeah,
we were like, let's get a part of this like festival lineup.
From my memory, we really hit rehearsal hard though.
We did.
Now it's
Yeah.
now it's March, but you know, January, February, I remember we were rehearsing like 4 times a week.
4 times a week in this 4x4 little cube, white
Yeah.
room that felt like purgatory.
Well,
and
we weren't in there yet. We're at my house at this point in time. We're rehearsing at my house still.
in your room, we were, weren't we?
Yeah, we're in my bedroom and we're rehearsing
I
like
remember
madmen.
We just
really
would turn the amps down really, really quiet.
Yeah, we commit hard, pretty quick, which I think is cool.
I
You
think
know,
that's
we,
definitely
we
your
were really
influence.
aware that we needed to like do this. I remember we started to look around for a manager, and I remember we found Adam around this time as well because who was booking these tours and stuff? It would've
Yeah.
been- So we must have got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the place that we did the next thing and got to get out.
So we did a lot between December and March.
Yeah.
From 2011 to 2012, we kind of got our ducks in a row.
Yeah, we really did hit it running, and then
started rehearsing, got a manager, made our parents aware that we're gonna probably do
that we
this
were
a little
gonna
more
do
seriously.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was some bad manager contracts before that Adam one, wasn't there? Because Adam wasn't even a contractor, I don't think.
No, he was great. There were definitely a few propositions that we had been presented. You know, one of the big hooks for one of them was I'll get you on tour with the Getaway Plan.
Oh yeah.
Which we could cut to their hit song.
It's actually pretty crazy because we were very young, and there was like 1 or 2 manager deals that came in that would have had us locked down for like actually 12 years,
Yeah.
which is or
Which
whatever
we'd
it is.
still be in.
And
Yep.
yeah, and I remember being really excited. This is how much like we're not from money. I remember there was like a guarantee that one of the managers would make us all $3,000 each by the end of the term.
Yep.
Or something.
By the end of the 12 years.
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, maybe not for 12 years, but that's still a lot of money.
And I remember being like, well, we should probably do this. That sounds sick.
But I remember Liz. Liz was the guiding force in our contractual life for the first kind
Yeah,
of
she
beginning
was.
of our
Yeah.
Really
of
was.
our career. Liz was always like, you know what, don't sign this one. And then I remember she came to meet with the guys who were offering us some of the other stuff, and she, after the meeting, we'd get together, and I think we were eating Subway in a public park or something. And
$5
as
6
I'm-
inches.
as I'm jumping down on a sub, I remember saying to Liz, "So what'd you think?" And I remember she said she didn't get a good vibe. She
Nice.
didn't trust him. And I said, "You know what, Liz? I trust you." So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not them.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, we somehow meandered our way to some pretty good people.
We did.
Which I guess, like, this is the dawning of our intuitive practice as a band. We kind of just started to feel things out, and we knew that we had to. So now we're acousticing too hard, and we're starting to be
Yeah.
referred to as the acoustic cover band on YouTube.
Yeah. And let's just get that image in our head of when you acoustic a little bit
When
too
you
hard.
acoustic too much, it's
Yeah,
like,
then-
how are we going to break out of this?
And your Boyce Avenue.
So then you're Boyce Avenue.
They took it the whole way, man.
They
Next
did take
thing
it the whole way.
No
Next thing
disrespect.
you know, your voice.
But at that time, acoustic covers were at their peak on YouTube. They were doing
More than anything.
Dude, they actually were.
They were
Well,
doing.
I know that sounds crazy to say.
So
but
if you
like,
can think right now back to the biggest one was the Off the Moon band that were doing the covers all on an acoustic guitar, and they would all have their hands and they would sing in
that
harmony
Walk
all
Off the
together,
Earth, right?
which was
Yep.
the biggest video on YouTube in like 2012, I think.
dude, it really was. Like, if you did
Oh.
a good acoustic cover,
Yeah.
you would do numbers.
So the
Yeah.
key to breaking on social media then was to do just a good acoustic cover. Jeez, times have changed, eh? Like, damn. So we were like,
And-
there's the wormhole. We can get through that
In
wormhole.
the same time as, like, Justin Bieber starts blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, just recently before that, from doing, like, his acoustic covers that ends up getting him signed, and that was, and then he's, like, the biggest artist in the world. So this is all
Yep.
happening at the same
So
time. It's kind of crazy.
so we're kind of trying to read pop culture as an acoustic band right now, and we're like, okay, so we need to put something out there that's higher quality. So we on May 21st we filmed the "Gotta Get Out" acoustic video, which was a song Callum wrote. Did you guys
Yeah.
write that with him?
Mm-mm.
So you're
No
100%. So you're the richest.
Yeah, I think I got a check for that for like $17 when I was 16, which
I
you know,
stand by
that's
what
pretty
I said.
good.
that bought.
I stand
That's
by
three and
what-
a half stunner deals.
I think we
It is.
I think I bought you guys some McDonald's from that,
That's
Probably,
dope.
yeah.
which is like
$2
which
cheeseburgers,
is
yeah.
my thank you.
So this was our first shoot, and it was set up by our manager Matt Emsel, and we went into Redfern.
Yep.
And we walk in, and it's a beautiful set where there's mics. We
Which-
had never recorded live on mics before.
And we are not city kids by any means. We're out from, like, the bush.
So we're already stressed. We've been on the train for an hour and a half. We're walking through Redfern with all our gear, and we walk into this building, and we've never recorded into mics live before, and we've also never filmed a video with a budget before.
Yeah, with never with more than one camera that was an
Yeah,
iPhone.
because that's how we used to do it, because we used to just do like
I was the
one,
only- I was
two
the only one-
takes.
I was the only one with an iPhone,
Michael
so
had
we
an
recorded
iPhone.
all on mine.
So we did our best with this video. Is it still online?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
Wow.
It's actually
A
good.
good video.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
It is a good video.
And like we did it all in one take, and
is it live?
Yeah.
Dang.
yeah, and like we did a really good job, and we had people like miking our, acoustics and
Yeah.
put a
But
mic in the back of the car. Like, we did
This
it
is
right.
and this was the turning point where the band turned into started to flourish into an original music band.
Because we
that-
were so scared of not doing a cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we so aware of that? This is very quickly because I remember all this time we were like very, very certain that we did not want to be the acoustic YouTube cover band, and we needed to have original songs and play them so people would like them, because that was the ticket to having people come to your show.
But then the cool part was we were doing 4-part vocals within the first 4 months of being a band, which is pretty damn cool.
Totally. Like, we all knew that we all wanted to sing, and
Yep.
we knew what it was about,
Yep.
and we knew that we loved to, like, hear our voices together. And so we were, and when you're 15, you just have to figure it out. We were like, okay, how do we all sing together and make it sound good? And then that was how we learned
Yeah.
harmonies and stuff
We liked
like that.
we liked a lot of those, like even fucking Mayday Parade, all their like harmonies and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
like Mariana's Trench and all those.
But I guess the purpose of this first video that we made for Gotta Get Out was because we had now got a manager and we're going to do an Aussie tour, because now we had some kind of demand happening. We're having we're starting to create more and more fans. We're doing a lot of Ustreams, I remember at the time, and we're really
Lots of that.
Okay.
trying to get the
It's like an
stir the pot.
Instagram live these days.
Yeah, like
These
an IG
days.
Live. And we would do them multiple times a week, I remember. You were really good at coordinating them. And we would all get it into your granny flat at the
Yep.
back there,
Michael had the
drink
best
your
internet.
mum's port, get hammered
Yes.
off screen,
Which was fucking terrible.
and play a Day to Remember covers to... We were getting like 20,000 viewers at the time.
I
remember.
think it was kind of popping off.
Yeah.
It
so,
was, yeah.
So at this time, we're starting to make moves. We're going, okay, people are watching us.
We've got a manager. So we can't fuck it up.
We have a tour in the works. I remember starting to see designs for the first 5 seconds of summer logo, which Matt Emsel was retrieving, and it
Yep.
was the tally, which is on my here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
Same.
so we started to put all that together, and then we made 2 runs of t-shirts. We made a black t-shirt and a white t-shirt with the tally on it that just said 5 seconds of summer, and we prepared that to take on this tour, which we went on from May 26th.
Wow, that's actually a pretty big jump, isn't it? From the first 2 gigs,
Yeah.
you think about it. You got T-shirts, you got an actual run of venues. That's flights. That's a lot.
But during this time, we were actually writing as well.
Yep.
So we were getting our shit together.
Oh yeah.
So we were writing. We were gaining more and more original catalog
Yeah.
to put in our back pocket before we went back on tour.
And this is when we started to rehearse almost like 5 days a week. And we were like, we need somewhere to go like every day. Like, where are we going to meet up and where can we keep all of our shit? And to be fair, we had like 2 pedals and like 2 guitars or whatever. And we rehearsed like fucking no other. We
Yeah.
would just rehearse and rehearse and rehearse because
Yeah.
we thought the only way to become a really great band is just to like continually play together until you so instinctually know what each other's gonna do, and
yeah.
we'd play, we'd turn the lights off and we'd make sure we can still play the songs and still feel each other's kind of like
Gee,
how
that's
we were
clever.
playing.
But I think it scared us, because when we played this second Annandale show, we were electric, we were plugged in, we were on a stage, we were playing with hardcore bands. They had it together. I remember we were like, damn, they sound good compared to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're kind of shitting it.
Yeah.
We're like, we're not there yet. We need to start rehearsing hard. But this gig had about 70 kids there, and they were all there to see us, which was a good feeling. So it had built already,
Everyone
which was crazy.
really, really did not like us there.
No.
Everyone.
Well, the
fu-
other bands, no.
The other bands.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was one band, they lent us like their back line, which was nice. They
You
were
know
the
what?
only ones that were nice.
Which
to
was
us.
sweet.
Sweet.
When I look at it, we're not even on the we're not on the lineup. We were in Plus More.
We're plus more.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me see. Is that the purple one?
Wait.
Yeah.
I swear there's one that has us on there.
Is there?
Yeah.
'Cause
Wow.
This
I
one, this
remember-
one just says Plus
See,
More.
this is what happened.
I
See,
remember there is one.
And
There's
I
one
remember-
with us on it.
I remember you being upset because you're like, the only people that are gonna like. I think at that point we knew these are all really like hardcore bands, and they did not like.
Absolutely.
Except for the ones that lent us the back line.
But I do like this kind of rollout that we had going on here. So May 26th, we played our first Factory Theatre Sydney show. And I remember in the big room next door, Tonight Alive was headlining.
Yep.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And we snuck in and we listened to them and we said, "Holy fuck, they sound so much better than us."
Yeah, and we were like, it was that was a full touring band, and
Yeah.
that was kind of the first band doing pop punk that we had witnessed that were like, they were like high class. doing
Yeah,
their thing.
totally.
They ruled. So we played this show. It was sold out. We were selling merch at the end.
Yep. Like 200 people finally showed up. We
Yep.
finally started to get it going.
And that one felt like magic. I remember the way that felt. I remember the way it felt stumbling on stage, not having an intro or anything. We just kind of got it going.
And what we do is we'd go to school during the weeks and like the weekdays. I wouldn't go, but you guys would go to school during the week. And then on the weekends, we were like, let's do gigs. And then, so this Saturday, we played the Factory Theatre in Sydney. And then the Sunday, we had a book to go to Melbourne. And we had this amazing gig lined up in Melbourne at, this really cool bar. And I mean, like, we're 15 at this point, so we're like, oh, that's sick. And we get on the plane. We're about to get on the plane, and our manager calls us at the time and goes, "Hey, there's a problem with the Melbourne gig. So the venue has fallen into a sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
So
But we were so casual. Yeah, so what?
we were like, yeah.
So what? We can't play?
So what does that mean?
So what? The kids will be in a sinkhole?
We
What?
said, play around a sinkhole.
That
Wait,
doesn't matter.
Wasn't this where we coined manage the situation? Like we just managed the
Oh yeah,
situation.
we said just
Ah,
manage
yeah.
it. Yeah, or something.
Which was good. We had,
Because we thought it was fucking hilarious. We had a manager. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we definitely made fun of.
He
yeah.
did so well though.
He did so well.
He did.
He
And
did
so we get.
well.
So then he says we're moving the Melbourne gig to a college, to like a what was it, a basketball
was a
court,
tennis
tennis
court,
court,
yeah.
something like that. And then we arrive, we get there. It actually turns out like better than what we thought. Anyway, we were like, "Fuck, this is awesome." And then after every show, we'd do like, we'd meet every single person who wanted to come in and see us, and we'd sign anything, and we'd take photos. We did the whole thing.
I remember the stage looked so ugly that
It's
we
the-
sent Adam out to get some fairy lights.
And we
We
said,
go-
"Can
we
you
go-
put them
we-
behind
this
us?"
is
That,
ridiculous.
That's a classic Ashton Irwin move right there.
We got no prod. We're playing in a tennis court.
Yeah,
This looks
yeah, this is
absolutely
terrible.
horrific. Let's wrap some fairy lights around the drum kit. And I went, it's perfection.
Yeah, and now it's great.
Looks great.
And as me and Callum are, as we're about to go on stage, we're standing back.
Mhm.
They're like the noise is ringing for our intro music. I think we had at that
Yeah.
point or something. And Callum leans back, and there
Uh,
goes
Yeah.
there goes my beautiful Gibson Les Paul custom.
Yeah.
Straight
Um,
from Santa.
Straight
No,
from
I think
Santa.
it was. I think it was. We had an encore.
It was in the
We had an encore,
We
which
were-
is already pretty.
That's lit.
We were so
Yeah.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, what are we? What are we opening our encore with?
I think we were doing Out of My Limit last.
Smash
Nice.
hit.
Okay, yeah. And then you had your guitar in a guitar stand, and I was like, oh, shoulders are getting a bit sore from the bass.
Yeah.
I put my
And to be fair, basses are heavy.
No,
you
that-
needed
yeah.
to kind of
and then I put my guitar down, and I saw it in slow motion. Your guitar's just kind of it's bumped a little bit
and it's
once or
wobbled.
twice, and it's just fallen. And I've seen it, and I've looked at you, and I've looked at the guitar, and
Crack the
I'm pretty
neck.
sure you got on your knees. You
Cracked
fell
the
to
neck
your knees.
right in the middle.
Yeah,
Fell
And I
to his
said-
knees.
yeah.
Um,
It's pretty distraught.
I remember tears.
Yeah, I think you did cry.
no, I didn't.
He did.
There's no fucking way.
Dude, you did.
I'm pretty sure you did cry.
watched you
and
cry.
I'm pretty sure I shed a tear or two.
Really?
I don't
Why would
like-
I have cried over that? That doesn't. I had another guitar, didn't I?
It was your
I don't
favorite.
know. Yeah.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
I'd
that
be
thing was
pretty
way fucking
devastated.
too heavy anyway.
Yeah.
But I also remember you having a bad day in general because we rented the back line, but they sent 2 bass amps. So you're playing.
Oh my
You're playing
God.
guitar through a bass amp.
I'm rejoicing.
Yeah, the whole thing sounds like.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't. You couldn't fly with anything.
But anyways, this is just another day in the life. We're getting it started.
Yep,
We're,
it's what you got to do. You got to do that stuff.
but at this point in time, we're still children, so we went back to the hotel and we're having a blast. We used to push all the beds into one room because we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
want to. we
Because
didn't want to
because sleeping alone was scary.
because sleeping alone was scary.
Oh, I have some memories from back then because I forgot about this tour a little bit, and that it was actually a full thing. And like we
Mhm.
used to, because in Australia, like you could get flights pretty cheap to go places because you can't fucking drive because it takes 14 hours to get anywhere. and we used to stay in like the service apartments, whatever you call them. So like hotel rooms with like 4 rooms, and
Yeah.
like a manager would sleep on the couch, and us 4 would like. Well, actually, there was only 2 rooms in each thing, wasn't it? That's why we pushed the beds together. But I remember like being so elated that I just couldn't go to sleep. Just was so happy. It was just so. It was honestly so funny, and I'd forget about that. It was so much fun. Just like 15,
It was fucking
dicking around
awesome.
in a goddamn hotel room, like just.
It was fucking awesome.
And so we get on the band's private jet.
Jetstar.
By the second gig, no, I'm kidding.
So then after that tour went so well, we said, you know what? Let's record our acoustic shit
Yes.
and let's put it into a body of work. And we went into our first studio, like an actual studio where you record music. Like if you imagine a real recording studio, and we go in there, and we go in there with like I don't know who was like producing or who was
I
like
think it was
recording
just
this
an
stuff.
engineer, and he was like, "Okay, so where's the producer?"
Yeah.
And we were like,
You are, dude.
we're at, and I turned up with a cajon again. So I feel like
you had a djembe, didn't you?
I had a djembe as well,
Oh.
Yeah.
just to give the beats, But we show up at 3:01 in Sydney, and we're in Redfern
It's a
again.
nice studio. Oh my god, because Adam worked there.
Yep. So we're getting
Oh.
discounts.
Yeah.
So
He
our
got us-
manager at the
that's for
time
cheap, yeah.
got us in there, and so we kind of just wing this situation. We've never been in a big studio before, and 301 was really nice.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to play the click track, so we did these recordings.
We did them without.
I remember going in, and we would lay the cajon down first, and I would just remember the song in my head and beat out the cajon
We
for 3
would-
minutes, and then someone would go in and follow it on acoustic. on a, and
We
yeah.
didn't use click tracks
Yeah.
or have sections. We
So-
said, all right, so we need to start with the car.
So I would just go in there in a silent room, and I would play, Miss You. I'd be doing for however long I thought the song went for.
Yeah, and you were usually right. I think they were right all the
They
time.
were great.
Gee, that's fucking
Yep.
funny.
And then we'd
They have
go
another
in,
drummer that can do that.
We'd go in and we'd record the rest of the stuff, and then we ended up getting a full EP out of it, and we recorded a song called Too Late, which that never made it past Unplugged, but which was great.
Yeah.
That was our opening song. Remember
That was our
it's like an
opener.
Angels and Airwaves
And I'd
vibe.
go dun 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 because I was the only one with a wireless pack, and I'd do it backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
can only
where'd you get
afford
that
one.
from? Oh,
Joel.
Joel Chapman, yeah, he went.
Oh.
All right, let's just make sure we get an illustration of Joel Chapman. So Joel Chapman was our first ever music guru, and he was the first like rock star we had ever met. He had rings on. He was
Yep.
cool. He had long hair. He was in a band called Amy Meredith. And
Yeah.
he was kind of helping us get our live show together when we started playing as an electric band. And he's a mystical being. He had a mustache at the time. I had never seen a mustache.
No, me neither.
Definitely not of that caliber.
No.
Not one that long.
And he was kind of coming with us and helping us get this kind of early days electric band
I mean,
together.
and he taught me what a delay pedal was.
Yep.
He taught me like what a phaser was. I think I still have his Phase 90
He
pedal.
taught us
Yeah.
to use 2 different guitars
was-
instead of using the same
The
sounds
same
competing
one.
I was gonna
against
say
each
that.
other.
I remember that. So I used that for years because it was
Absolutely.
pretty clear that you were always gonna play like the stuff that was like like holding the meat and potatoes of
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna play?
Yeah.
And he was like, we'll just play something different. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just move everything up
Up an octave.
up the octave.
Yeah.
And
And
that-
it worked.
It worked.
And to be fair, we stuck with that mantra for our whole career. Like, still
Yeah.
now, we won't play the same thing
No,
because of that,
definitely
because
not.
there's no point.
That's fucking funny.
But I guess this whole first headlining tour was in preparation for the biggest offer we'd had so far in our career, which was to support a band who were having a top 10 at the time called Tonight. They were called Hot Shell Ray.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a massive opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Because they were an American band.
Yep.
I'd only ever met one American in my life, and
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who?
which was Caleb.
I was gonna say my American, and it was
Yeah.
Caleb. So
Yeah, that's the only
I only knew
American
one.
I've ever met.
So this has all happened in 2012. 2012's been a massive year
this
for
is
us.
this
Yeah,
is the
this is
biggest
the-
year. I
yeah,
can see why I got the
busy year.
tattoo now. It makes a lot of sense. This is a big year.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it was kind of 2012 was a year we had to convince our parents. It was my last year of high school. And I had to choose whether I'm going to try get into a uni or I'm going to be in 5 Seconds of Summer.
Yep.
And I was all in on 5 Sus.
Mm.
Yeah,
So-
and then Callum, you had a difficult decision to make as well, which I don't know if you want to elaborate on, but you know that was a
Yeah.
big decision you had to make too.
Yeah. Between, I guess this was also at the end of the year of 2011, deciding between whether I wanted to pursue music or football. And I mean, obviously I chose music. Regret it every day. But that's when kind of like, I mean,
I remember that was a moment for you where you were like, "Am I doing this?"
Yeah.
Or,
Mm.
I mean, it was definitely a big moment, and also a big choice for like, you know, a 15-year-old to make, to kind of decide what life path they want
Yeah.
to be on.
yeah,
And I'm glad I stuck with this one, and it's, you know, all down to intuition. I mean, at the basis of it, I was just like, I just want to be with my mates,
Mm.
make music with my mates, like
'Cause
no
it's
matter
so-
what happened.
Also, like, thankful to the naivety that we had and also so thankful to our early fans because they encouraged us to make brave decisions.
yeah, because it's so fucking hard when you're thrown a decision that you feel like you have to make that defines your entire life.
Yep.
And we only did that because of the fans supporting us.
Yeah.
Because or else we would have been like,
Well, we weren't getting that much encouragement from anyone in our real lives.
no,
We
but
were just getting all this. This was literally the second year of Twitter being a thing.
Yeah.
And we were going online and we're seeing all these people like really liking what we were doing. So it really encouraged us to like start manifesting opportunities, which we had no idea we were even doing. We were
Yeah.
just being really positive about everything that came our way.
Yep.
Yeah, because I even when I say to people that thing where we used to go to school in the week, or try to, and then play gigs on the weekends, like to say any American person, would be like, oh, people at school must have just thought you were so awesome and so cool. And it's like a fucking dream fantasy land in school over here because everyone fucking hated us at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not hated us, but like there wasn't like a cool thing.
Well,
Like
America.
you'd get threatened to be beaten up once a week, minimum.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned about America is it had a scene, and Australia had no scene where we were from. We were just dust in the wind out there.
What-
We had no community that surrounded our music. We were just doing.
It's just
stuff.
fucking free for all. And
Yeah.
and what I'm looking at, as I'm looking at how many gigs we played in 2012, to play this many shows in Australia is fucking crazy. This is like a big touring year
Mhm.
for just Australia, because in Australia it's so hard to play shows, you know. You've got like 3 main cities to play, and then, you know, if you can afford it, you can go to Perth,
But the
m-
main note here
can't.
is this is how it's all changed. Is back then, your numbers would be reciprocated in a physical venue.
Mhm.
Like we knew that, okay, 200 people liked this post. We're gonna get 120 people from that post to come to this thing. It was more reliable.
right.
Whereas everything's inflated now, and you have
Yeah.
no idea. But back then, it was like, yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Like, look how many people, you know, liked this thing.
Definitely.
Of course, we should go to Perth. It looks like there's
yeah.
200 people that want to see us there. Like,
That's what it looked
This
like.
was it was opening for Hot Show Ray. Obviously, they didn't realize because they were not from here, or not from there. But it was their first and only show in Canberra ever.
Yep.
Really?
Ever.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then after that was when we went to New Zealand for the first time. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then
First international show.
yeah, the
A
Zeal.
year,
I remember
nearly
that
2 years
so
in.
well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
is
then
pretty
after
awesome.
that, between the like early November months, which was when we were given an opportunity that obviously would end up changing our lives, when our manager Matt spoke to us
It was
about.
it was in Adelaide.
It was in Adelaide, yeah. Yeah, I remember the like little. I remember the booth we were sitting at as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, me too.
I remember he said he's spoken to his friend, and One Direction are looking for a band to sign and take on their entire tour in 2013, the Take Me Home tour, which
Which at that point in time, the only thing I'd seen of One Direction was when they came to Sydney,
And it was
absolute chaos, and it was on the news, and people were like, the streets are closed, the
Yep.
CBD, they're staying at the Intercontinental, and there's 10,000 people waiting outside.
Yep. And so immediately that's a little overwhelming.
So we were like,
And
what?
Makes You Beautiful is like one of the biggest songs in the world at the time. And I mean, essentially was the beginning of their rise to being one of the biggest bands of all time. And we kind of were looking at each other and we were like, holy fuck, like, do we leave? And the proposition there was to leave Australia
Mhm.
and to move to London. And
Because the management company
Was
that
out
we
of
would ultimately
London.
sign with was out of London.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it would be go to London, get ready for the tour that started in 3 months, which, you know, we had a few gigs under our belt at this point,
And write some songs to play on that tour.
and write songs to play.
That's a quick turnaround.
But the crazy part was, I remember the biggest problem was escaping our mentality that we shouldn't go on tour with a boy band.
It was
Because we were like, we want to be Green Day. How the hell are we ever going to come back from going on tour with
with a
these
boy
guys?
band, yeah.
It just didn't make sense to our 15-year-old brains. We were like, how are we going to become a live band
Yeah.
if we make a decision like this?
Mhm.
And thank God we did.
I know.
We got past that, but
Yeah,
it was like such a confronting opportunity.
it was a mixture of that fear and then also like literally taking any opportunity. Up until then, we'd taken every opportunity we could, and it served us well. This just happened to be a really fucking huge one, and you were
Mhm.
right. I remember being like, "Isn't that crazy?" Questioning that decision, being like,
Insane.
"I don't know, guys. Like, we want to be like a band, like a band."
Yeah.
It's like it's so funny to think
And
about.
Well, this was our first lesson in like not compromise, but like making the best out of every opportunity.
Out of every opportunity you're given. And then right after that, we decided to make a band EP and record 4 of the best songs that we thought we had made.
Mhm.
And that was when we recorded Out of My Limit, Gotta Get Out,
Beside you,
Beside You, and Unpredictable.
unpredictable.
The crazy part about making that EP was we strategically planned. So it was still, so we had gone, yeah, sure, we'll do the One Direction thing. But they were like, okay, we're going to send One Direction's manager is going to come see you in Australia.
Yeah.
And we were like, shit, that's
Yeah.
really scary.
That's fucking
This
horrifying.
would be the first time we've ever met like a big music business person.
Like big time.
We
yeah.
had no idea how to communicate with people like that. We had no knowledge of the music business at all, but we knew we had to look good. So we tweeted out, hey, here's the studio. Please come visit us. So we look good.
Shit, we
So can you please come to
we
the
do
studio in
that?
Surrey Hills?
Yeah.
I remember
We need
that.
people
Yeah.
outside because this 1D manager guy's
We
coming.
need him to think there's some
we
buzz.
need him to think we have buzz.
Wow, that's
Nice.
fucking genius. Whose idea was that?
We
That's
need him to think we have buzz. So
Yeah.
we had like 10 people outside. And did you? And
Huge
when this manager got there, we're like, did you get in okay? It's kind of crazy downstairs.
and he was like, oh yeah, fine.
And I remember he showed us the video for like the 1D's next single or something, and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We were like, why are you showing us
Yeah.
this? So he met us. We showed him what we were working on. We're making Somewhere New,
Yep.
which wanted to sell billions.
which
Went on to be one of the greatest EPs.
which
of all
was
time.
cool. It was like our first proper recording process, and
And that was fun, dude. Like we were
Yeah.
figuring
That
out
was so
how to
fun.
like. That was when we played to Click. We did the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
We really
Yeah.
did the whole thing, and it was awesome.
And I remember we were just doing our best to be polite to people at this point in time. Like we were just like stoked on everything. That
we
was
were just like, these opportunities are coming and they're amazing, and you know, who would have fucking thought that we ever would have gotten to the point that we were at that point where we were fucking playing the Metro.
We were
You know what I
stoked.
mean?
And
Like-
and all of us weren't even out of high school yet.
Yeah,
At
I
this
mean,
point in time.
I mean, that was all through the Somewhere New EP, and like before going to London, there was the whole thing of like you know, I think we'd all finished. You were about to finish school, and we were just were finishing year 10 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we still had 2 more years left of school, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a whole thing of figuring out, can we do this, like, especially from my end, because my mom was like, you know, obviously it's a big opportunity. She's not silly, but she was like, you need to do some sort of school.
finish school.
So, because she's a teacher, Like that was all through that time trying to figure out that, even like with the Metro show and recording the EP. Oh god, that's fucking crazy.
And then we played our Metro show and that was a 1,000 cap room, which we fucking sold out, and that felt like that for us was like we were leaving.
Yeah,
Australia.
that was our farewell.
That was
our
like
farewell gig.
That was our we're gonna go try this overseas now.
But we were well aware that the music market in Australia was, at the time, was notorious for having just a bubble.
Yeah.
We knew that if we stuck around, we'd be playing at the Metro
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Because how far can you really take it here? Like, what else can we do now? We've done all these things. We've done headlining tours. We're doing this. We're doing that. And we're seeing more people like us overseas. So we made an informed decision. We're like, okay, we need to start again in England.
Yep.
And
We
because
said let's start it again.
let's just try again. So we literally repeated the process that we did in Australia, in England, by starting to do like fan meetups. We would play it,
Yeah,
this is in the next episode, but
Right.
yeah.
But I remember in December, we had collectively decided, all right, it's time to go overseas and it's time to go to London and make it happen. And we all showed up to the airport. We took a picture by departures.
Yeah.
Was that for the first week? We did a week there first. I remember at the Key West.
Oh yeah.
And then we went back again.
Yeah, we went early December to there for the week at the K West.
Okay.
And then we came back, and then we went again. No, we went at the beginning.
Yeah, see what we remember. Yeah, I remember being there for a
Because
week.
we went at the beginning, and then some of y'all flew back,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then I couldn't afford to fly back. So I don't think any of us could afford to fly back, but we made
I
it.
don't
We
think
made it
so.
work.
Oh, jeez. I actually remember being on that flight with my mum, and we were like right in the arse end of the plane, and we were right
Probably
next to
middle
the
seat.
toilet, and I
Yeah.
just was awake the whole time. The only way to fall asleep in those days was with Finnegan.
Oh, 20.
You loved a good Finnegan.
And you wake up after a Finnegan sleep, and it feels like you've been hit by a fucking train. Jesus Christ. It's terrible for the
Yeah.
15-year-old brain. Anyway.
So we left Australia at the end of 2012.
Yep, and
It was 5 days after I finished high school.
yeah, you got on the plane, and then we showed up to London, which was like, I think like 10 Celsius, and we
Oh,
were all in
God.
flip flops and
We're in-
singlets.
But I mean,
We walk off the plane, and we're just fucking immediately. Our breath starts turning like.
I was in flip flops, a singlet,
Yeah, I'd never seen cold like that.
jeans. Yeah,
Or felt cold like
I
that,
had
I
no
guess.
idea.
But that's the end of 2012.
Yeah.
At the end of this, goodbye Australia, hello Europe.
Yep.
Like
See you later.
we were like, let's do this. 2013, 2013. Here we go.
So we arrive to London. Some of us went home for Christmas. Some of us stayed there for the New Year. I remember I went to Louis Tomlinson's house for New Year's.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, and I was staying with my aunt who lives in south of London. I think it's south.
Surrey, wasn't it Surrey?
Oh, yeah, you had a
Sorry.
relative in England.
Yeah, which was awesome for me. And then I go to Louis Tomlinson's. Oh no, Louis invites me to his party. I mean, this is just a total sidetrack, but Louis invites me to his party, and I go, "Hey, bro, I'd love to come, but I can't get there. I have no idea how to get there." He's like, "Oh, what do you mean? Just take an Addison Lee." And I was like, "See, I would, but the thing is I have no money, so that makes things
They were expensive,
a
man.
little bit harder for me." And he was like, "Isn't an Addison Lee only like $150?" I was like, "Yes, like I said,
We
I have
live
no
different
money."
existences at this
Yes,
point,
like I said,
Louis.
I have no money. And he goes, "Dude, I'll get you the Addison Lee." And I was like, "All right, sick."
Hey.
And then he got me the Addison Lee to his house, and I had a great night.
Mm.
Ended up drinking, and it was great. And then I
We
remember
could animate the shit out of this.
yeah, there could be, and he had fucking fireworks
Wow.
at his house. It was pretty crazy. He was living good in
Yeah.
Wow.
end of
20.
yeah, beginning of 2013. He was living good, and then as I was there, I was like, okay, now I got to go home, and I realized I didn't ask him to get me a car home.
How'd
Because
you get
he
home?
only said, I'll get you a car
Car.
one
Yeah, that was
way.
the deal.
That was the deal.
Ah.
Fuck, I'm not going to ask the guy to get me another car home.
That's
Which
very
you did.
un-Australian.
So I called the Addison Lee to go home,
Oh no.
and I got back, and then I woke my aunt up in the middle of the night, and I said, hey, can you pay for this cab for me, because I don't have any money? And she came down and she paid the cab. So that was the very beginning of the 2013
Nice.
year for me.
Callum and I were in Cowdenbeath.
Yeah, Cowdenbeath, Scotland, Edinburgh.
We were
Is that was this year?
we were throwing back tenants
Yeah,
and prawn
tenants.
Wait,
crisps.
how old is everyone at this point, by the
I
way?
honestly don't
Well,
know.
old enough.
We started the band when we were 14, and then now we're in Scotland drinking tenants.
And
Well-
now we're in Scotland drinking beers.
Yeah,
It's
no.
already VH1.
Yeah, I remember we watched a lot of Lord of the Rings.
I love that that's how 2013 started. Where were you?
I was at the fucking arse end of the plane on the way back. I remember getting on that second flight back to go. It's 2 flights to get London to Sydney, as you guys know very well. We did it so many times. The 14 hours to get to Dubai, and then from Dubai to get the 7-hour flight. But this time I was going through Hong Kong, I think, and it was actually pretty rad because it looked really cool on the plane. But I hadn't slept the whole time, and it was just that's what I was doing. Then Prue went home. Prue went away, somewhere.
Oh, I think you had a vacation planned.
Yeah.
And-
Every
and
year.
Liz made you go home.
Yeah, every year. Yeah, every year. Like my family would go like to some beach house. It was good though. It was a bit annoying to get on that flight though. That's for sure. But I had nowhere else to go because
Yep.
we had no
Yep.
house there. You can't.
Yeah, and then I remember as we started to realize that we're about to be playing the O2 Arena in London, we started writing with. I remember the first week of writing we did was with Jamie Scott and the other guy, Who's the other
Tommy.
guy? Tommy.
Tommy.
Yep, and they were in
Wait, wasn't
Blue.
Julian Bonetta there at one point?
Yeah, Julian Bonetta
Shut up
and
for a
Ryan.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
They popped in
Yeah.
We could probably play a snippet or two.
of those songs.
Of
We have a
those
couple.
songs.
Like,
Yeah.
what we have. Yeah.
Wasn't it Over and Over?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
that-
wrote
that
over
came
and
from
over. But we- I mean,
Tonight I almost fell in love. And then there was The Borderline.
Oh,
yeah, she don't cry. Yeah.
And then we wrote a song with Julian Bonetta called Loser, which wasn't very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then You Were Not Alone.
You Were Not Alone.
But
And
You Were
10,000
Not
and
Alone.
10,000 Miles.
Oh yeah.
10,000 miles.
The
That's-
way. I know we
Feels
didn't
like
write that
it's
song.
Is
Oh,
that the
wait.
next Dan and Shay hit?
No, that sounds like.
Thousand
it was
miles
the
away.
way
I,
All I
really
really
wanna
want to
live.
say. Yeah, something.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
only wish you knew.
And that was the first time that we'd ever written with like pro songwriters, and
Yeah.
we fucking just faked it until we
Faked it.
made it. We walked in there when they started writing shit. We were like, yeah, totally.
Not
Oh yeah,
bad.
that'll
Not-
be good.
Not really something we would do, but
Just totally,
like, you know, we're a
Two
band willing
EPs
to
in.
take risks.
totally just fucking talking shit.
I remember writing for a long. We must have written in the year previous in December because I remember writing for fucking ages. That was our whole life for a long time. We lived in that house in
yeah.
Ealing.
You and Cal at the end of this wrote with Christian and Joel a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
Dude,
a
I just-
bunch of that.
For some reason in my head, we had like 6 months of like
Yeah,
living
me
in
too.
Ealing, going to the train.
So between every leg of the tour that we did with 1D, that was when we wrote like Good Girls, and that was when we did like a couple other like one-off things there.
We would
and
do
then-
shows in between
Yeah,
on the days off and stuff on the 1D tours everywhere.
yeah, we would do like. I think at that point we were doing acoustic shows. Still,
Yeah.
we would just like show up somewhere and play acoustically.
And
But
2013, I guess, is the year that we're trying to create public disruption. So we would do the meetups at Marble Arch. We would do like trying to get like our fans to meet up in these public places
public
to make
places,
noise
yeah.
for the band, you know?
yeah, and we lived in this. So when we got to London, we lived in this place called Ealing. I remember W53DH was
Ashbourne
the
Road.
On the blue,
Ashbourne Road.
on the
61
blue line.
Ashbourne
Road.
Road. Yep.
Ashbourne Road.
And we got there, and then we would have different parents cycling in and out, taking care of us.
First was Karen.
Yeah, Karen was there first.
Second was
Liz, and then Joy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning. Remember, Amory popped in and out. She
I
popped
don't
in
think
and
I
out.
needed looking after. So
Yeah.
Mum and I had an agreement when I left high school. All right, see ya.
Yep. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
And we
to
lived
ya.
in this. We lived in this house. That was honestly, I would love to go back there one day. It would
Yeah.
be really awesome. And it had 3 bedrooms. One was always reserved for the mother, whichever mother was in town.
Yep.
And then the other 2, we were like, let's split. You know, who wants to sleep in what? And then me and
Yeah.
Ash took one room, and then Callum and Luke's took the other. And Callum's bed at the time, sounds fucking
Well,
dumb.
we used to like
We used to wrestle.
WWE each other.
Yeah.
We used to fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin each other.
Yeah, honestly, saying that we used to wrestle would be like that would be like selling it short. Like we would. It was fucking.
We try to
It was
beat the shit out of
SmackDown
each other.
versus Raw, like
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah, we're breaking raw materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was one day that I think Luke RKO'd Callum onto his bed. And the whole thing collapsed in
Yeah.
all of the boards or whatever. And Callum tried to fix the boards,
It
but
broke.
was-
You
Oh
split
my
my bed in half,
Yeah,
literally
it-
straight
yeah.
down the middle.
and
We fucking smashed it.
and then we said, all right, how are we gonna fix this? And then so we walked
Oh
we
my
walked down the
God.
street, in the freezing cold to Polski Schlep, and
The Polish general
which,
store.
yeah, which was the local.
Surprisingly common there.
Yeah, totally. And we go there and we said, all right, let's look around at some different objects. What could fix the bed? And we spot, a 24-pack of toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet rolls.
And we say, oh, this is perfect.
This is
will work."
perfect. This is durable.
Yeah, it's real nice and squishy. It won't make the bed
Except,
uncomfortable.
and it worked great for the first 3 days.
But then we started to run out of toilet
And
paper.
then, and then we realized, we didn't get any.
But
We said, we
Dude,
didn't get any extra
it's all
toilet
flooding
paper.
back. The funniest part. Oh no! Okay. The funniest part would be like I'd be sleeping in bed and I'd hear like someone like fucking rustling, taking the toilet paper.
So mid sleep, you're just getting a little bit lower every time.
Yeah, you take one roll at a time.
Yeah, we're not
And
monsters.
So eventually, Callum's bed slowly just caved back in.
So we're back to
just-
square one.
I'd have to keep buying toilet paper.
And we'd repeat the
love it.
cycle.
We didn't try and find a more permanent solution. It was just like, this works. Let's just get more toilet paper. This will fix it.
It's clearly
And
working.
so anyway, and then we
Wow.
lived there, and then we saw snow for the first time, which was really, really interesting because
It's
it
wet.
was.
It's wet rain.
I mean, I really like to add in we're just so naive at this point as
So
well.
naive.
We didn't have any real desires. We didn't have any other goals
the
apart
band.
from to write
It
songs.
was just that.
And we would pretty much do live streams all the time.
Yeah.
It was all about like,
Just getting the train and the bus everywhere.
yep.
Yeah,
many.
especially in
It's a real bummer because we thought, we're going to London. We'd be catching trains and buses our whole goddamn lives at that point.
like, we've hit it big now. Let's, maybe things will start being great.
But I remember our influence as a band like started to shift in terms of like it being very Britishly centered. Like bands like McFly, like people and Busted as well,
Mhm.
bands who had multi vocalists, in which we could see us like performing similar venues.
Totally.
That was an interesting. Before that, it was more like derivative of pop punk and
Yeah.
Well, we just hadn't seen any other bands that had done anything like we were aiming for. So I
Yeah.
think the discovering some British pop rock bands helped us make sense of where the hell we were going with our stuff, and how to market our band and how to tie it all in together.
And I remember when we were originally talking about it with, who was managing us at the time, and as this One Direction thing is about to, is coming and we're about to, be put in front of more people than I think we can even imagine, we decided to see not a band therapist. What was Alex Cadis? She was like
she was a media trainer.
Media
like a
trainer.
media trainer,
Yeah.
right? And we went into that, and we're 16 years old at this point, and she was like, so we went in to talk to her, and we were like, okay, so what's the purpose? Like, what do we, what do you guys want to get across as a message? And I remember day one, we were like, biggest band in the world, We're like, that's it. And she's like, all right, well, what else? We're like, nah, nothing.
Nothing
Just-
else.
Biggest band in the world.
Yeah, she taught us some great like metaphors for group function. Like she taught us a lot of easy ways to visualize communicating as a group and delivering a message clearly. She taught us how to like speak with other people, and so we were understood and not just like too ochre and Australian.
Yeah.
And kind of helped us kind of develop our language,
Yeah.
like which was something that we really needed to do because we would just be four mumbling young Aussies who hadn't spoken in interviews and stuff before, you know.
I remember the two things that I think that she taught us were. I mean, we did it in our living room. It was so funny.
Yeah, I know. I remember. And we also didn't know how to furnish a house. So
Yeah.
there was a couch and a table and a TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Fucking nailed it. What else do you need? What else do you need, boys? Just a bit of friendship. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the bus thing. What was the bus metaphor?
metaphor.
Like people, the band are on the bus. We're driving.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're driving.
We're driving, and people might come on and off the bus.
No, no, no. Wait. We are the bus. Sorry.
Wait.
The band is the bus.
The
band was the bus, and people get on and
Oh,
off the bus,
okay.
but we are the bus.
And we're always gonna stay on.
Because we're the
always-
bus. Because
yeah.
we're the bus.
We're always gonna,
Okay.
something like that.
Something like that. And the other thing
I
was.
guess she was saying people are coming to use you.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah, I almost wish she said that. I almost wish she said that.
Made it a little bit more clear.
And the other thing was, don't obviously not in all life forever, but don't walk into a room until the whole band walks in
Band
the
effect.
room. Yeah, the
Yeah.
band effect.
The band effect.
Like
yeah, she taught
record
us how to be
label.
like a unit.
Yeah,
Which that's a priceless thing to learn.
That's very
Honestly,
good.
though,
Unity.
it made me feel a little bit too dependent.
okay.
Looking at,
Fair enough.
Looking at, like
I struggle
now-
to walk through doors.
Now looking at it in 2021, if I don't have 3 other people with me and I walk into a room, I feel really uncomfortable.
All right.
Yeah. Well, maybe you
Let's-
could chat to her again.
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
she has a therapy on the side.
Yeah, but this like whole 2013 era was just us really pulling it together and being incredibly uncomfortable and working to our full extent, and developing like work ethic to write songs that would be competing with these massive pop
Yep.
songs that One Direction had. Because
Yeah.
we knew we would have to get up there and have like great songs. It
Right.
couldn't just be, so we're really we went to song school to some extent in these periods, and we're writing multiple songs every day.
Yeah, and if you think about how we got there in December and we were writing like fucking crazy, and we're meant to play this show in February, and I remember how much we rehearsed on that the last stop on the red line or whatever. That was like
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. What's the place?
yeah,
It's
that's
the,
where
it's the
the
main
fucking
place.
clock tower thing, and it was like
Yeah. What is that station?
Yeah.
Geez, so much Pret. So much.
so much Pret. Oh my god.
That's the King's.
King's Cross?
King's Cross.
Yeah, I think it
King's
was-
Cross. And it had a weird word in it,
was-
like pancreas or something.
Yeah.
It
did, yeah.
You know what I mean?
King's Street.
What? I always
Pancreas or something.
thought that. Why does it say pancreas in the name?
I don't know.
It's probably some ancient
I
thing.
think it is. Yeah.
Some guy lost his pancreas there. And we would, again, spend our time rehearsing there, going home, going to sleep the next day, writing a song. And then it was, if we weren't writing, we were rehearsing every single day. Like, we didn't take a day off.
Or live streaming.
Or live streaming.
That's all
It
we
was-
would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, since we got there in December, we were like, fuck it, just
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah, there was nothing else to do.
I remember the only time we took off was over Christmas, which is when we all broke up and went to different places or whatever. And as I was looking around, I was like, holy fuck. It felt so weird. I was like, I'm in London
That is strange.
with a day off.
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird. I don't like
Yeah.
this.
And at this point in time, I think we were making £175 a week each.
We had asked our managers.
Oh, £120.
Yeah,
I
we'd
think-
asked them
I
to
thought
give
it was
us
a month.
No, oh,
I don't know.
I don't know. I remember definitely it was not enough.
no,
I remember us
no.
complaining to them, being like, "Guys, we can't even afford the trains. Do you have any idea these trains are
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that our money?
Yeah, we made that from the merchandise on the tour the year before.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were like just drip feeding
Rationed.
it to us.
Yeah, we
Ration.
had about $12,000 in the bank. I
So we
don't
were
know
rolling.
why I remember these things.
Essentially rolling.
Someone
in-
had to remember. Someone
we
had
were
to.
s-
Oh, I know why. Because you're the only adult at whatever point, or the
yeah.
oldest.
Yeah.
So
I had the card.
yeah, someone
the
had to
band
be
card.
like,
You were the only person who was legally not a minor.
yes, you had to approve all the payments.
But
So
they
I didn't
only-
know any of the payments.
They only stopped. They only stopped doing that 3 years ago. I feel like.
So you've been paying me for the last.
yeah. Can
And then we get to O2 Arena where
I
we're
frame this?
yes,
It's
please.
just like ridiculous.
it's
this
fucking
part.
crazy. Yeah.
Because now One Direction have really, the phenomena is raging, and everybody on earth knows who this band is, and they're so successful. The O2 holds about
20
28,000 people,
Yeah.
and they're so successful. They have 11 days of matinees planned.
Yeah.
So
2 shows a day.
2 shows a day for
Of
2
what?
weeks, pretty much
20,000 people, 40,000 people a day,
a day.
11 times.
And this was how we learned how to play in arenas. So we're coming out of the rehearsal space. We're making good progress. We're starting to sound tighter as a band.
Mhm.
I got to go and buy a drum kit, which I remember for this tour.
There goes the rest of that 12.
And I was like, and it cost $1,700, and it was a Gretsch drum kit, and it was purple and stripy or whatever.
I remember
that.
Yeah.
And I
We
brought it
had
home.
that for a hell of a long time.
Yeah, and that thing took us into the, we played these O2 matinee shows, and it's absolutely insane. There's people coming and going. We're observing the 1D guys under immense amount of stress because they're playing matinee
Like the
O2s.
most famous people on the planet at this point.
And we're kind of just buzzing around in the background doing our own little 5-sauce thing. Like, we would walk out into the lobby of the venues to get Nando's and not a soul would know us.
Yeah.
We were sweet. We were just doing our thing. And we played 5 songs a day, well, twice a day for 10 days.
Yep.
It's
And I
really
feel like
boot camp.
this was like trial by fire as a live band. It was like, get out there in front of 28,000 people. You've only ever played to 1,000 people. Good luck.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, our biggest gig was probably 2,000 maybe.
Yeah. Maybe like and more.
Which no one knew our songs. We had no songs. We were playing unreleased music as well.
I
which
don't
was
even
crazy.
think we played any of the like. I think we played Beside You,
Yeah.
but I don't even think we played Gotta Get Out or like anything
No.
that we had released. So I feel like everyone in the crowd was, even if you knew who we are,
Yeah.
there was no way that you could know any of the songs.
So what we were attempting to do was win this audience over with songs they'd never heard, just with pure stage presence.
Yeah.
Like, that's
from a
that-
band they'd never heard
from
of.
a band they never heard of, from a band that's only played, by this point in time, we had played 22 shows.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
the next 2 weeks that we're about to go through in 2013 when we started this One Direction tour was like pretty much like cutting our teeth on how to. Our playing changed drastically in this next 2 weeks. I feel like we were
That-
like, oh, that's how you play.
From the beginning to the end of that whole Take Me Home tour for
Yeah.
us was like we were a different band.
Oh, yeah.
We were literally a completely different band.
We were learning how to talk on stage, how to move on stage, how to like preserve your body during a tour. Like,
Yep.
we were learning the stresses that came with it, like learning how to do it. And
Yep.
it was we were just playing in front of that kabuki,
Yeah.
Oh,
which would
Beautiful
I'm
kabuki.
playing drums, and this thing because they didn't want the 1D set to be exposed, they would just drape a giant, like 100-foot tall black sheer thing, and it would rest on the back of me, so I'd be
There were times where I'd turn around and Ashton would start to get enveloped in the kabuki, and I'd see you like you'd battle the kabuki the whole set. You'd be like playing drums, and you'd use your drumstick to like get it off of you. And then I think there was a point where we had to be like, "Hey, we need to move everything just forwards a little bit because
Please.
Ashton's getting suffocated by."
and
a
I
kabuki.
think it was one of the things I actually, when I got a chance to talk to one of the One Direction guys, I'd mention the kabuki. I'd be like, everything else is incredible.
Yeah, thank
you
so
for this
much."
opportunity. Please move the fucking kabuki because it is eating me alive
I'm
every night and
suffocating.
I can't move.
That's funny. Do you guys really? So I don't know, Western Sydney there. I remember this tour. I remember watching them,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I don't remember a lot of it.
It
Like-
was pretty repetitious and tiring.
I remember we had like phases of when we're doing something like the show. We played what we play 5 or 6 songs, play for 25 minutes, 30
Yep.
minutes a night, and that was our sole purpose. Just fucking get great at
Yeah.
playing live with songs that no one knows and no one knows
Yeah.
who the band is. That was like the
I
whole
have-
purpose.
I have more memories of like rehearsing for the shows
Yeah.
Yeah.
than I do for the actual
But
shows.
I
Yeah.
wonder psychologically, like, because is it because of the cortisol levels we had that we just can't remember these things? Like, I honestly
Just
don't
everything
know.
was moving at like 150 miles an hour.
Yeah. And I remember
Yeah.
we were making adjustments to the set all the time. We would really critically think about
Yeah.
every single thing we were doing.
Yep.
We would film our shows and watch them back to see if
Oh
we're
my
not like how we
God.
were moving.
like a football team.
And to learn like how to harmonize. I remember we would stand out in the middle of the arenas when 1D would play, and you would listen to people like Zayn harmonize with that group, and you would be like, that's how you harmonize.
Yeah. Like
With
the-
with a big band and a big PA.
yeah.
Like that's how you
Yeah, it's still to this day like that tour from 1D is like probably one of the best shows,
Oh,
live shows
Absolutely.
I've ever seen.
because it was like the whole world was waiting to get into that room with them. It
Yeah.
was nuts.
yeah.
It was absolutely nuts.
And I remember a good, after we had done the UK Europe tour with 1D, I remember the next stop, the promised land of Miami.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
We were coming.
Sight.
We were coming, and it was like America.
Yeah, America.
those we'd never been to, because this is before we
In
met
2013.
Feldy, before we came to
310.
LA at all.
305.
305.
Because I remember landing in Miami. It was such a strange place to first
Yeah.
land, and I remember there was like, I don't know how we knew, but there was people outside because for some reason it had been building in America.
No, I think we tweeted, "Hey,
Oh, we're going to Miami.
we're coming to Miami, and
Okay.
we're landing at this time."
Yeah, we would tweet everything.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
that was our first like swarm of people trying to get out. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember going down the escalators
Yeah.
and seeing.
It was
maybe-
the first time it happened to us, and we said, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time we'd seen like American fans ever.
And for some reason, it was apparently people had heard of us in America,
Yeah.
and no idea how. And for an Australian band to be heard of in America is like the
Yum.
dream.
Mm-hmm.
the
but
dream,
for
you know?
some reason, we had to fly through Dallas to get there because I remember being at that airport.
And then we went through Dallas Customs, and it took us about 4 hours. I remember it was like the snakiest line I've ever seen. It just kept going.
oh yeah, the
awful.
American customs guys
But
are very
this-
scary.
Yeah,
Yep.
this point in time was kind of like we were pretty just in awe of everything happening. If anything at all is notable, we were just kind of stunned.
Yeah,
Yep.
Miami looked so much like Vice City, Grand Theft Auto. I
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
totally.
I could not believe how similar they were.
Yeah. And then I mean that tour kind of catapulted our fan base in the US as well.
That was when by that point, we'd had more of a grip on who we were and kind of the music that we wanted to make. And then when we eventually made it to Los Angeles, that was when we met John Feldman, who really helped pull together sort of the first and second record.
Yeah, it was the first guy we'd met who knew exactly how to record the band.
Yeah.
Like exactly the energy we were going for. And like 2013 was all about the band's image as well.
Mhm.
The image, what image can you create with a budget that can afford Target and Hot Topic? Like that's literally like how do we have something that's iconic about our band? How do we appear a certain way that so we have fans of like what we do and
Yeah.
what we are? Because we realized the songs weren't enough.
Yeah.
We have to have a band image, which was so strange to develop in these times as well, because it's literally we're playing arenas, you know, and we're working it out step by step.
Do you remember when
Budget sauce.
we were walking around Miami the first day,
Mm.
and this is the douchiest story ever, and we were like in flip-flops and jean shorts 'cause it's so fucking hot there, and there was a guy taking photos. Like, this is didn't even question. I was like, why is this guy taking photos? And then every block he would run back, or you'd ride up on his bike and go to the next block and take a photo of us. I was like, that's strange. Why does he keep doing that? And then the photos came out, and they're fucking still
Yeah,
there.
still popping around.
I literally had no idea what that was and why
Yeah.
this. I didn't even question. I wasn't like, huh, That's kind of creepy.
You're
It
just
is a
like,
little bit creepy.
Yeah.
no, it's definitely creepy.
16-year-old
And then-
boys.
Yeah, then I guess like 2013, we were touring by bus,
Yep.
which was total new thing to us. And so all this time, I think we started to do radio station visits.
Yeah, I think we'd started doing that, and that was when we used to stick our heads out of the bus and
Yeah, we would do acoustic radio visits like
Yeah.
in between the 1D shows. We had all day to like visit people and
yeah, I think we got
do-
sick of when we were in the UK. We'd sit around and we'd wait for
Uh-huh.
it to be 8 p.m. and then we'd play.
Yeah.
And we were like, why don't this time we like try and do something
Yeah.
during the days?
And then I guess in November in 2013 we signed to Capitol Records for a 3-album deal, which was a crazy.
Yeah. And I remember when we were in we were living at this I guess after we'd talked about signing to a label, that was when I remember our first little taste of it was when they rented a house that had a studio at it
Mm-hmm.
at Perfect Sound.
a good
And
spot.
that was where Ketchup came from.
Mm-hmm.
That was when we discovered Keek. You know,
Yep.
so many things.
A lot of shit
and
happened.
and that house was fucking awesome.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah.
I just remembered feeling like I was like, oh my god, guys, we've like made it. And it wasn't until like a year later that someone had told me, so you're actually in a lot of debt because of that stay.
Mm-hmm.
No one told us that. And that was when I discovered Panda Express for the first time.
I remember
Yeah.
how much debt we're in. $60,000 debt.
Yeah.
It made sense though.
Do you guys remember at the house there?
The income
Yeah.
compared to the the revenue.
Like, hey, I thought because we have fans now, we must be making money.
That's how it works.
There was
weren't at
people at the top. I feel like there was way less like boundaries and rules. Well, definitely not since the pandemic. So there's many boundaries, but there was people that would just stay at the top
Mhm.
of the driveway because it was along the nice house. It was like
We lived right next to Hayden Panettiere
And Drew Barrymore.
Oh.
in Drew Barrymore. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Fuck. Go us.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
That explains the debt.
Yes.
Every time you'd have to go for a run,
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
have to run past like
them.
30.
So it would be like a
Fans.
marathon. You'd be high-fiving,
Yeah.
be getting cups of water.
I remember one girl goes, "Why are you running?"
Why are you?
Why are you
And I didn't have an answer.
I
Well,
think
well,
it kind of
thanks,
blew our
man.
minds when we got into the One Direction world how much they looked after themselves. And I think we were like,
Yeah.
oh.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd never worked out a day
We were
in my
just
life.
was slamming McDonald's and
Yeah.
doing whatever. But and then we were like, oh.
Yeah, they had a
Oh,
trainer.
You gotta
you
do
have to
this
look
stuff.
after yourself to do this.
Dude, that's pretty funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would use their trainer, we'd use their hair
Yep.
people, the vocal coach. We just
Yep.
felt like ready. We just wanted to get better,
Yeah.
and we didn't
Yeah.
have the money, so we're like, can we like use your
Yeah,
guys?
whenever anyone would be free, we'd be like, "Oh, we'll
you
give you
know,
like $50."
Living in this house in Perfect Sound Studios, we're creating our first EP, which ended up being the She Looks So Perfect EP, which had songs like She Looks So Perfect, Only Reason,
Yep.
disconnected.
Disconnected, and one other one.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a productive time, which is great. But
Yeah.
at this point in time, we're starting to get a taste of like the music business. We're talking to people about deals, and we're working out A&R relationships and like what kind of song would work for us at radio in the US and how these things happen, you know.
Yeah.
But we were basically just writing every day in this house and trying to kind of cultivate something of
Yep. And I remember one night very vividly. I don't remember who was there with me, but I remember being there, and they had these like windows at the top, and I was sitting there one night, and then I saw a flashlight on the house.
oh yeah, cue animation.
Yeah, I was like,
Oof.
oh fuck.
Is Liz? Oh, Liz would remember this as well.
Yeah, I remember like, fuck, what's like, who's pointing a flashlight at the house? And I was like, this is really weird. And then I waited, and I'd like look over, and then someone's banging on the door. I was like, holy shit. I was like, and it was like dead of night at this point, and I was too scared to answer the door. And I think, did Liz go and answer the door?
It sounds like Liz would have.
I think Liz went. And
Hello.
Yeah, she's like, hello, and I think she answered the door, and then I just remember I was looking from the top of the staircase, like just barely my eyes poking out over the railing, and then Liz shut the door and she'd walk back inside, and I was like, Liz, what happened? Who was it? And she was like, Michael, go to bed. And then it took me the next day to find out that someone ordered male strippers.
Oh
to the
yeah.
house.
Which was our first taste of Hollywood.
which was Hollywood. And can't believe Liz sent him away.
Yeah, what are you doing,
Get on in
Liz?
here, mate.
Been away from.
Well,
You know-
that's the story that we know.
You know what as well, like it's notable. So now because the band is aware that we're starting to be more functional about choosing what kind of music we're going to make, I start to remember things we were listening to. And the biggest song in the house at the time, whilst we were writing our first record, and the biggest album was the first 1975.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
We would be blasting Chocolate in the city,
Mhm.
round and round and round and round and
Yeah.
round every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And we were loving that stuff.
And then we signed to a major label deal, and that's when we gave away our livelihoods.
Is this?
Just kidding, we gave
When
away
did
our
the album
livelihoods
come out?
before
I
that.
think. The album came out. Oh yeah. in
Came
out June
2014
of
as well.
2014.
June.
Yeah,
June
so
27th.
Oh, okay. So
So
we
the
did a bunch of
album-
EPs before.
Yeah. I
Let's
think
try
we
it.
did.
Yeah, so then I guess end of 2013 for us was when we signed a deal, and that was when I guess we kind of understood that there was more on the line than just kind of fucking around and making music, and we had to get it together and not just make a bunch of videos dressed up as superheroes, which we ended up doing anyway. But
Held
yeah,
it.
I don't know why I dressed up as Spider-Man. I don't know why I did that.
shit happens, man. Doing it on the fly. We're in
Shit
flow
happens.
state.
Shit happens.
And then what happened at the end of 2013?
Yeah, man.
All right, we're in 2014 now, which is possibly one of the biggest years we've ever had as a band.
We're in 2014. We've woken up at the Mondrian. I get out of bed. I'm sleeping next to Mike.
Yeah.
Not in the same bed.
No.
And I go, morning, Mike. And I'm putting on my Converse. I'm putting on my black jeans.
My skinny
I'm
jeans
putting
still
on my tank top. I'm putting on a flannel. I'm
Put
not
on-
wearing any jewelry.
You're putting on a bandana.
I'm putting on a bandana. I'm going to work.
And yeah, 9 to 5.
That's what it looked like then.
Yeah.
Oh my god. God, why were we living at the Mondrian so long? Because I remember we filmed the She's Kinda Hot video. This is years. This is a couple. Well, I guess
That's
a
this
year after, and we were still living there.
Yes, that's true.
Because I remember we got home at like 7 in the morning because we had a night shoot.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Sorry, that's the next year. We'll get
That's
into
the
that
next
next
year.
episode.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying
know
with-
about 2015.
first-
I only know 2014.
Right now, I only know 2014. First thing I remember about 2014 is rocking up to the shoot for She Looks So Perfect.
Yeah.
Which we'd never shot an actual music video.
Yep.
That was something that we never really understood, the concept of like extras, the concept of like, someone calling out cut. That
Yeah.
was
But also, like, meeting directors, getting treatments.
Yep.
We met with director Frank Barn at the Saddle Ranch.
Yes, we did.
And we were big fans of him because he had
my
done Good
God.
Charlotte
Yep.
and All American Rejects. And we were like, wow, this guy's electric.
Jeez,
Like,
we didn't
this
walk
is-
too far for a meeting, did we?
No, yeah.
We were like, this is the guy to film
Yep.
our music video.
Dude, I was on that street the other day because there's a nice restaurant around there that I've been going to.
That street meaning Sunset Boulevard.
the one just off it where the side garage with the Mondrian is. And I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it all came back, and I was like, there used to be people waiting there all the time.
All the time.
I remember the
In
one
House
time
of
you-
Blues across the street.
Yeah, you used
Oh
to-
yeah. Oh, rest in peace, House of Blues.
Oh yeah.
No longer there.
But,
Yep.
I mean, that's a great segue because we recorded our first live album there,
Yep.
This very year.
which
We
is at
did.
the end of 2014, so we'll get there.
Yep.
Get
Yeah,
there.
we'll get there eventually.
So what else did we do? So we filmed She Looks So Perfect, which was crazy. And then I guess we released it, didn't we?
Our first ever global release.
Which to me, I didn't really understand what the kind of difference was.
So I guess that meant, which we didn't know, which was the record label would now implement this release in 75 plus countries.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it was released simultaneously, which was like the first time this had ever happened in our band's career, which was crazy. And
I remember that because we were doing the EP thing, so it would be on the album charts. And I remember Frozen beat us, and we got second with this She Looks So Perfect EP, which is
Okay.
Yeah, which was crazy because you could chart in albums for EPs. I
Yeah.
guess you still can.
Frozen was huge though. I'd take second.
Yeah, it was good.
But-
good competition.
Good.
so
Good.
this year I remember being the biggest one of the biggest promo years of our whole career, and we were doing all kinds of things like 5 countries in 5 days kind of promo trips where we would go to Europe and we would go to Sweden, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, back to back, day after day.
Which I remember when we had the conversation about it, we were like, you know what, if we're going to do it, why don't we, why don't we just go to a different country every day? We were like, what if we just do 5 of them, 5 countries in 5 days? And then our team was like, we can do that? Like, you're okay with that? We were like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, it
Great.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like, we can do a bunch of promo 2 days in of waking up at 5 a.m., getting on a flight,
Going to sleep at
and-
4:50
and
a.m.
working all night until like 10 p.m. every day, just talking. Just so much fucking talking.
Where we were playing shows too.
Yeah, we're
playing
doing
multiple
acoustic
yeah,
shows.
we're playing
acoustic
shows
shows.
too.
So the day
we
would
do
kind of
like
look like
4 acoustic shows. Yeah.
4 acoustic shows a day, 4 radio stations a day, and then we do press segments in every country, and they would invite like 60 plus people to interview us. And then we would roll up at the venue, we would do more interviews, we'd do meet and greets, thousands of person meet and greets. You remember those?
We've met like upwards. I think like we've met at least like 30,000 people each, right?
Oh, dude, I think even more than that.
Yeah, and
I
because
think
they
I
knew,
remember in Milan alone that day that
That was like
we met
2,000, wasn't
we
it?
met like 3,000 people
Yeah.
in a row.
Maybe we've met like 100,000 people.
Yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah.
That's so many people.
that would explain my memory.
Yeah.
But and we would do this, but we were also young, and we were like, well, we want to have fun as well. Like, so we would be going to a country a day, but we'd be going out every night as well,
Yeah, especially in Europe.
just to
'cause-
catch a vibe. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the-
Yeah.
Europe was fun.
yeah. And I remember when it really derailed and we were playing. Is this Swedish Idol? Was that on the tour?
No, that was-
we
that
got
was
a couple years
2
till
years,
then, mate.
2 years from then. I'd be really
When
curious
did we
as
release Youngblood?
I'd be really curious. Yeah, and then we released Youngblood.
and then we had to be at the studio at 1 p.m. to do a podcast.
Fuck me, don't
Ben
say shit
win-
like that. That'll
Ben
freak me
win
out.
Kids Choice Award. What did we win?
We were the kids' choice.
No, didn't we? We performed as well.
Oh, we got slimed.
Wait,
No,
is
that
that
was
this
that
year?
Teen Choice Award.
That was teen.
That's
What's the
teen.
Where's
fucking
the Adult
difference?
Choice Awards?
What's the fucking difference?
I think that's the Grammys.
Well, the kids are for the
The
kids.
Grammys are the
Ah,
adult kids.
yeah,
What's
we've
different?
never been invited.
Well, the
to
Kids'
those.
Choice Award is a blimp, and the Teen Choice Award is a surfboard.
Oh fuck
Oh
me.
yeah, no,
That's still
pretty-
that's a much older
Yeah.
bedroom, that surfboard.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I got one
Yep,
too.
yep, yep.
yeah.
No fins.
And then we did the Stars, Stripes, and Maple Syrup tour.
Which was one of my favorite tours from memory.
Yeah, this is a good one. I remember the last show we were playing in Connecticut,
Yep.
and it was the biggest show we've ever played.
It was a big
Oh,
show.
wow.
It was an awesome
4,000.
show. It was really wide.
Yeah.
1,800 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that was huge.
It was big.
Yeah, that was
It was like a little arena.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was. I remember being like, "Fuck," because the rest of the tour was really good, but it was like, 2,000 or 1,500 or whatever in America, which is amazing. But that
So
was big.
So now that our single is popping off, She Looks So Perfect's popping off, and One Direction are looking for an opening act again. But it just so turns out that we're the best option out of all of them anyways. So we go, so they're like, okay, we took those guys on tour already, but we've positioned ourselves. We got a big song now, and it's
Yeah.
all happening.
Where we can stand our own ground.
So we're
now.
in contention for One Direction's stadium tour.
Yep.
And
Fuck, that's huge,
they've
isn't it?
continued being the biggest band in the world. It's all going, great.
Still going well for them.
It's going great for all the boys. It's going great for us. We're getting our shit together. We're doing our first kind of North American tours, and they're getting a little bigger. And I guess we joined them, and the first show we played with them again on probably the first stadium we'd ever played was
Yeah, absolutely.
Croke Park
Which
Stadium,
which was the biggest one on that whole tour.
which is 100,000 people, and we opened for them, and thank goodness we're playing She Looks So Perfect now, so people are.
People
vibing.
might have heard a song or two, as opposed to the last tour
We
where
played Amnesia too, and that did pretty well.
yeah,
as well.
Amnesia was popping.
Wait, is there an album out by here?
No, not yet.
No,
so
not
yet.
so we're starting.
wait.
So we're starting to do this
When's our album out?
right here, dude. June 27th.
Oh, so we're playing. So songs are being sequentially released as we're playing these.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah,
using,
and I think we were still playing ones that had come out, like Heartbreak Girl, Try Hard.
That's true.
Few
Yeah.
of those massive hits.
Yeah.
So in between all that, I remember Ben, our manager Ben, poked his head into a minivan at a rest stop on that stadium tour and said, "Hello, boys. What's the name of the album?" And he's all chirpy and thinks it's funny. It wasn't.
Yeah. And I remember I was sitting in the back row. I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll think about it." Yeah.
And he's like, "You can't think about it. We got to have the name."
Yeah, we need that now, actually.
We need that now, actually. And we're like, looked at each other and we're like, self-titled?
Yeah, we were like, "Fuck it. I don't know."
Self-titled album, maybe? I guess that's what it has to be.
Which, looking back, it's a classy entrance.
Of
It is.
course. Of course.
Can't go wrong,
You know,
really.
probably not the best under the circumstances, but still, yeah.
No, it was great. We just still since 2011 we're acting on the fly.
Yep.
Now it's
Yeah.
2014 and we're still just
Still acting on the fly.
We're still just winging it. Whatever's coming our way, we're making the best out of
Oh, the teen choice thing. We filmed a video in the bathroom where we had towels on.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. And then I waddled away.
Waddle, waddle.
Waddled away.
Waddle.
Waddle, waddle.
And then and then we filmed a video for Don't Stop.
Yep.
Which
Isaac Rents.
honestly, really good video.
Great video.
Honestly, really good video.
Amazing video.
We got to see like stunt doubles.
Yeah.
We got to see like
I did my own stunts, actually.
I think there's
Yeah.
there's got to be a huge secret that we have to unload a little bit later.
Oh yeah,
that,
for sure. I
yeah.
know exactly what the
Oh,
secret is.
no.
Yeah, I think we got to tell people. I think we have to.
Huh?
We got a bit of a. You good?
Is this better?
In front of us.
Oh, I see. On that one. Oh,
it's just
there,
that
that's
one.
perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Now we got it.
Wait.
Wait, it wasn't doing this before. What changed?
Your attitude.
Everything changed,
What
Mike.
fucking changed?
2014, everything changed. Whoa!
There we go.
How's that?
That's much nicer.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
so
good.
much freer here.
Okay.
2014 is kind of a hard year to talk about because I don't have any memories from 2014. It all went dark in
Yeah.
2014.
I don't remember this at
Zero
all.
memories.
Yeah. Should we, I think we should get into that secret because right after that our album came out and that was part of the album launch.
When was that fucking... Oh, my God. Yeah, that promo day. It was harder than that 5 countries in 5 days,
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
we started at 5 a.m. and we finished at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was like a 24-hour work day.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the
Seems pretty good for kids.
the release day, June 27th that we released the album. We were in Italy, right?
Oh,
Were we
yeah.
in Italy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Shilk's
yeah.
a perfect release?
We were.
No, it was album.
No, that was
Yeah,
album.
it was album. But I do remember the one day that we were in England. We had our fucking names on the side of some cabs,
Yeah, we did.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Which is great marketing.
which was good. But why?
I don't know.
That's how they marketed back then.
Yeah,
don't
on
know.
cabs.
I guess.
Yeah,
And
damn.
then, yeah.
That
but-
day was ridiculous.
Yeah, we did a whole day of promotion for the album in the UK. Oh, around Don't Stop.
We started in Italy.
Oh, did we start in Italy
And we
and we ended up
Ended
in...
that day.
Oh,
London.
that's why the day was so long.
Okay.
22 hours.
After that Milan meet and greet, we flew to London.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
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 That's
Okay.
amazing.
What happened?
Now, this is around the Don't Stop thing.
Cue
so
animation.
if you remember, we did a live stream,
Yes, we did.
and we we scaled the building.
Yes.
We were scaling the building, and
We thought no one would believe it was us.
yeah, I guess what we're trying to say is that definitely wasn't us. I mean, there's no health.
But we
and-
made it look so
health and
believable.
regulation.
Because they got to the bottom and then we stepped out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
we did.
I think you have to put into context what we're talking about so we can, like in the superhero suits and everything. You know?
Oh yeah. So we're in superhero suits,
Okay.
and we
Perfect.
scaled the building.
Okay, so
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I guess some people might not remember this, but we were doing a live stream and we're in superhero suits. And
No, sorry. We were in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wait, were we?
Yeah.
No, we're in superhero.
We're in our
suits.
Don't Stop characters.
No, the beginning.
Oh, okay.
The live stream, we were in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes.
So
and then
what's-
and then we moved to wearing the superhero. Sorry.
All right, so
Didn't
if you
wanna be
remember,
nitpicky, but yeah. we were Ninja
we're
Turtles
doing a
in-
live stream and we were in Ninja Turtle suits, but now we're in superhero suits, and we were scaling.
We changed.
We changed.
We changed. Yeah.
Okay, we changed, and we scaled down this fucking huge building
Like biggest building I've ever seen.
in London. And we got down the bottom, and it was us there, and we said goodnight. That was the final.
That was
the
finale.
final
The
goodbye.
finale. It was like, hey, it was almost like Fear Factor. Like
Yeah.
the end of the night, you're gonna watch us scale a building.
Yeah, the third physical challenge.
and you know, and we got a lot of tweets after that saying, "Wow, didn't know you guys
Yeah.
were that great at abseiling." I mean, this is a 100-foot building. We're talking
It's
about.
a fucking building.
It was
Yeah.
a-
Like I would almost say skyscraper.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was big.
Yeah.
It was big. And what a lot of people don't know is that we didn't actually fucking do it. We hired 4 professional abseilers
Yep.
to do it, and then we walked out at the end.
Yeah. Which we thought would be very obvious.
Yeah.
That, like we weren't trying to pretend like it was us. I guess we kind of were, but
And then we've kind of kept that a secret for.
Yeah, I actually met someone the other
6
day
years.
that on that I didn't remember at all. She was like, "Oh, I did an interview with you like on your album release day, the one when you scaled the building," and I have no recollection, probably because I was on a 22-hour promo day,
Mm.
and
so fucked
she
up
still,
on Finnegan.
yeah, she still thinks that we scaled the building.
Good.
Isn't that amazing?
Maybe we shouldn't blow this secret.
I can't believe it's just so baffling to me that people really think we did it.
Do you remember when you guys scaled that building?
So
What?
I guess at this point in time, we're starting to win awards for things, which is new in our career. And we won an AMA for Best New Artist, which was kind of like one of the career peaks for our band.
Definitely.
Um,
we were up against like some of the biggest artists that were out. You
Yeah.
know? Like other artists who had like some of the biggest songs in the world,
Mhm.
and we were just a couple fucking dudes from Sydney.
Yeah, what were some of the other songs that were happening at that point
I
in
know
time?
Megan Trainor all about that bass. Was
Oh,
there,
damn.
and that was like one of the biggest songs ever. I
Yeah.
think
That's a pretty big song.
I think there was like
No idea.
yeah, couple other ones anyway.
Do you
So it was
remember?
fucking
I
crazy.
remember being very confused when I saw the rock category because we always had this thing where like we're a pop band, but we're also like a rock band, and I remember being very confused at those places that we were never in the rock category.
I know, and
I'll-
then like Lord would win it.
Yeah,
It was really weird.
I mean that's just a little weird side note that I always
Mm.
I
Yeah.
get it more now, but at the time I was like, this is fucking weird. Like, why is Lord and Taylor Swift in the rock category and we're not?
yeah.
Yeah, because they were forcing us to be something else. And then since we spoke about this in the 2011 episode, but we've always been driven to be like a great live band, and we want to make, an impact like that. So we convinced Capitol Records to help us release a live record that we filmed at the House of Blues on Sunset, called Live Sauce. And I just think it's awesome that we were able to grow that much since we were just what was it? 2 years ago,
Yep.
3 years ago.
Yeah, we were ready for that gig.
Yeah, but now we're recording live albums, which was amazing. So it shows like we were playing hundreds of shows before that, and getting our shit together.
Yep. And to be fair, I think we sold Capitol over by live albums don't do well and they cost a lot of money and labels got to pay for them. But I think we won them over with the name, Live Sauce. Yeah, I think that was what sold them.
Unbeatable.
How can you come up with a better?
Because you know what? It rhymed,
Yeah.
and people are suckers for rhymes.
Yeah.
That's true. My limited experience of marketing, it works.
Yeah.
Every time, 10
it
out
really
of 10.
does. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So and then 2014 ended.
Did it?
Maybe not.
Yeah. I just can't really remember any.
I don't remember much.
real things that happened.
I mean,
These
I
are all, like-
remember shooting the video for Amnesia. I remember.
Oh yeah, but all 2 of them.
Yeah, we shot a first
Oh, yeah,
video for
people don't know
Amnesia.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows that.
Ah.
We've shot 2 videos for Amnesia, and they were both very expensive, and which more debt that let's keep talking about. We need a debt tally in a corner or something.
I mean, the Mondrian must be high on that
it's
tally.
fucking the debt.
So many
I was,
BLATs.
dude, I was eating a lot of peanut M&Ms, and that was, they kept refilling. I
Yeah,
just
they
kept eating.
just kept breaking them.
Yeah.
But the first video that we shot for Amnesia was a complete blur in my mind. But I remember walking down a street
was gonna say there was like a bunch of people behind us.
Yeah.
Amnesia, right?
Yeah.
That was the first video.
Yeah.
And then I remember playing the VMAs. Like I remember playing when we first played at award shows. That was like a really interesting experience because, we were just fucking bunch of kids and we're at award shows with people who are taking everything really seriously, and we were just not doing that at all.
Yeah, never take ourselves seriously. And I remember that always being a thing because at those award shows, because it was absolutely ridiculous that we were even there.
Yeah.
So we'd always like want to sound amazing and like, not be dicks and be like nice to everyone because, we're just nice kids. But I remember just being fucking like so like ridiculous that we were there and just having fun with it and being, I don't know, just hanging out, just buzzing about the backstage.
Yeah,
like
we'd just be walking around. We'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" We'd just look in one room. We'd be like, "Oh, cool, nice, good job." And then we'd just keep wandering. But what I know is that we, interestingly enough, and as lame as it might be, we never like. It was always the four of us. We would always move as a pack.
Yeah.
And we'd always like, whenever we would go somewhere, whether it was like to lunch or like anywhere, we would always move as a like fucking
Isn't that
off
because we only
group.
had 2 security guards?
We did, and they all had to. Yeah, they'd be like, "Hey guys, we all should go because we don't want to split up here."
Mm.
Yeah,
Weird times.
weird times.
Really weird.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm codependent now on everything.
For sure,
That's
dog.
what I said earlier.
For sure,
That's what I
dog.
said earlier.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't remember shit.
2014 disclaimer: this is only what we remember. By no means this is what happened. This is just what happened.
Was that the same year that someone introduced? It was our first performance on television. Someone said the wrong name.
Oh, yeah.
Introduced us.
Kendall Jenner,
She said
One Direction.
One Direction.
Yeah, we were
right?
gonna play
And that kind of
Billboard Music
that
Awards.
was Billboard.
Yeah.
Oh, we got.
And
I remember that bummed me out a
so
little
coming
bit.
up, the next acts are amazing. It's 5 Seconds of Summer.
Fuck.
Yeah, that sucked. That was a real shit moment.
Thanks for bringing that up, Cal.
Let's bring her in.
2015, baby.
Here we are.
Is this blocking his face?
Am I?
Can we get it to block his face?
I should be more relaxed around here.
2015.
Yeah.
Here we are. We have arrived. We're halfway through this.
Yep. Only 5 years to go.
Until
Yeah.
now. Until we have to.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like 2015 was. We were off the back of everything we've just spoken about in all the other episodes, and we've gone non-stop. But now it turns out we need to not stop still.
Yep. You can't
Yeah.
stop.
We need new music. We've just had our first debut album. It's gone to #1. It's doing well.
Amazing.
We've got a
Yeah.
hit song.
Fucking awesome.
That's
Ever.
unreal.
It's
Yeah.
actually isn't it one of the highest debuts from that? What is that?
In the
10s?
2010s.
The 2010s.
Yeah. Yeah, we were up there.
Yeah.
Like number 5. or
So
something.
now
Awesome.
the plan is, where's more music?
Yep.
Where's the goods?
Yeah.
So we say, all right, John Feldman, you make records really fast and really, really well. And we need to make an album in 2 months. And then we're going on tour. We've already booked the tour. It's called Rock Out With Your Socks Out. It's amphitheaters and arenas, North America. And we have no new music.
Help.
Yeah.
Help.
Send help.
Help
Yeah.
us.
And then we say, but the caveat is, we only have 10 weeks to do it.
And we're living in Bel Air now. And we're having a great time.
Yeah.
And we're really just loving our lives. We're being a band, doing band stuff. And so we're going out to John Feldman's every day, and we're making Sounds Good, Feels Good. And I don't remember the first song we started with, but I remember we wanted to write a lot of this music. Because Amnesia had done so well, we wanted to write a lot of this music with Benji and Joel Madden,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
And so we started to work with them a lot. We started to write with them a lot. And they heavily influenced this record, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like She's Kinda Hot was one of the first ones that we got, and then we'd start writing with like a few different other people, and then I think Jet Black Heart came quite early in the process.
We wanted to sound like Good Charlotte. We wanted to sound like Vertical Horizon. We wanted to sound like Acceptance.
Yeah.
We wanted to sound like The Offspring.
Yeah, I think this record for us was sort of like, okay, we did the like kind of the poppier side of stuff on the last record. So let's make a record like an actual band, and let's play fucking everything. Let's just get in a room, write it, and just like not care about like any sort of like pop connotations. Let's just write the music that we want to play live, because I think at that point we'd started realizing like, okay, the songs that we write you have to play and live with for the rest of your life. And I think we were like, let's write really cool shit that we want to play forever. And so that was where I think, you know, we got songs like, you know, we got Jet Black Hearts, we got like even like fucking like Waste the Nights and stuff, you know, like Outer Space, Carry On. We did like, you know, we really wanted to make a full body of work, and we were really specific about how we wanted to do it. You know, like the deluxe edition couldn't just have the 3 new songs at the end. We were like, that doesn't make sense. The 3 new songs for the deluxe edition have to go here, here, and here halfway through the record. I remember people being like, listen, it's so much easier to just put them at the end. And I mean, we're like 18 at this point. We're like, nope, it has to be exactly where we say it is, because it's the way that the music was meant to be listened to or whatever.
So here's when we started coming up with the crossroads of like, okay, we're now in a pop market, but we're a rock band trying to make albums. And by this time in 2015, albums were still being made, but starting to not be as popular to make.
Right.
Full length things. But we were like really set on having our second record. We were terrified because we knew your second record is the riskiest record of all, for notoriously for bands.
It's the hardest one.
And it was the hardest one. And yeah, we were kind of dead set on having better recordings, bigger arrangements, bigger compositions. We got the London Symphony Orchestra playing on this album. We have like, we rented the Zeppelin 3 drum kit. We did all kinds of crazy shit on this record. We were like experimenting with the recordings. We were like diving in.
And everything just kind of like flowed out. You know, it was really like, there was no, like we had so much music built up inside of us that we wanted to write, because we barely wrote it all during the last year because we were just too busy. So when 2015 rolled around, we had so much music inside of us that we were just like going and going and going, and there was no end to the kind of like music that we were writing. And there was still so many songs that never even saw the light of day that we wrote in this year that still, like, there was an alternate universe in which they made the record because the songs are still great. And I don't know, it was fucking awesome. This
was also a stressful time for the band because we're putting together our first arena show with production and crew and all these kinds of things, because Rock Out With Your Socks Out was our first big headlining tour. And I just remember learning about how to put lighting shows together and how to, you know, find people to help us put visuals together for like these big environments, and learning how to put together a show that was at that level was really exciting to us, because we had seen One Direction do it. And we were ambitious to like really compete with that in a live environment. So I mean, I feel like 2015 was really dead set on us making an album that would just be incredible live.
So I was looking at this schedule, and we were playing the first headline show after the album was fully out, but we're also releasing the new album that we just written, because we had to write the album before we went on tour. So, and then to release it in the middle, because actually I do remember we started playing the second album on the American leg
through the tour.
Okay.
And then we'd put the next tour on sale.
What?
We'd had the next tour ready before the full album was out. Yeah. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy. That was like, we were full on crunch time,
but not feeling the crunch.
Yeah, we were just like,
this was the year we did a Rolling Stone cover, I think.
Yeah, it was.
This was the year that we rented a minivan in LA and we'd cruise around, I think. That was like Dave was our security guard at the time. We lived with Zoe.
Yep.
I'm just rattling these things off.
Yeah, no, you're right.
These were exciting times for us.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember that being, and also trying to have that balance of like really honing in on your craft, which is your songwriting and your performing arts, creating a whole show in under immense pressure, you know, under time crunch, under like deadlines. And also at the time, like, bear in mind, after we released that first album, we were a very controversial band in terms of like the perspective on whether we were a good band or not. Like, we were hated.
Yeah.
We won
14 and 15.
14 and 15 Worst Band Award. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I think
celebrated
3 years in a row
We've won it more than any other band, yeah.
Worst band.
It's
So
amazing.
that almost like counteracted in terms of us, you know, really putting our head down and trying to write the best songs as
But
possible.
also, if there's any young people listening to this and bands and stuff, like,
Who gives a fuck?
yeah, don't give any fucks. Like, if you feel the path intuitively and I don't know, like, because that really affected us. On our second album, we were hell-bent to make a rock album because people were so mean to us.
Yeah.
Like, we were hell-bent, you know? And it's like, it does affect you, but I hope it doesn't affect other people because we've moved on. But
But this is when like streaming was starting to become more and more involved as well.
Yep.
So accessibility over music was starting to really increase.
And we're developing now. So now we're experiencing our first major shift in the way music is consumed in our career. So on the first album, we're selling CDs still,
Yep.
which is crazy to say. And now Spotify exists on this second record, and everybody would have like, I remember people were controversially like not participating in streaming. People like Taylor Swift were not getting involved in streaming at this point in time. We were confused what streaming was and how to utilize it. So we really didn't have any like impact on streaming at all, which really affected our game plan for the third record, which we'll get to in the next episode.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, we're still going for the physical music market, and we're releasing music physically still, which is nuts. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and then we ended up releasing a DVD that year, which sort of told the story of like the last few years and sort of being on that tour that we did. We did the Rock Out With Your Socks Out tour. Good name, I think. Not bad. Maybe where would it list on our tier list of names?
Do you guys remember the sock puppet intro that never was?
Yep.
Very intro.
I think the goal was to have as much fun with the crunch time that we could have.
Yeah.
It was like opposing thinking. It was like, okay, this is really intense and stressful, and now we have all these people coming to see us, and we have to do all these things, but we have to maintain the fun attitude, otherwise we're gonna dry up. And that's been like a goal of ours forever. It's like keep the childish nature alive about everything that we do.
It's also a big one at the end of the year here. That's the ARIA for Best Australian Live Act. Because I feel like we were really vindicated after.
Yes, and that was what I was speaking about just before. It's like we were so hell-bent on having the best live show ever since 2011, you know? And now, like, we had made it to 2015, and we've won an ARIA back in our home country for Best Live Act, and we beat out AC/DC. And it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. See, that something like that for me personally was like one of our biggest achievements ever, because it shows that we learnt how to do this thing, you know, live. Whereas, you know, 4.5 years ago, we didn't know how to do anything really.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, to come from like us getting together after school every day and rehearsing in a room when, you know, I didn't even know what, you know, a delay pedal was, you know, to go to like a few years later after just fucking doing nothing but focusing on being the best live band that we could be, winning an award like that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's massive for us.
Yep.
Where were we when we released the second album? 23rd of October.
We were in LA.
We were?
Yeah. We did something with John at John's place. Remember?
Oh, that's very sweet. I remember we did. Do you remember we did that Europe? It was almost like a 5 countries, 5 days thing for the second album.
Did we?
But it wasn't 5 countries.
I remember we did we did an event in Atlanta, the New Broken Scene.
Oh, yeah.
thing
Oh,
or
wow.
something, which was awesome. Wait,
Yeah.
we totally skipped DerpCon and the fact that we played the Forum last year, which whatever. But yeah,
We
the
played
new-
the forum last year.
in 2014, yeah, the last year from this year that we're talking about. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we did the New Broken Scene event in Atlanta, which was awesome. We flew people in from all over the world. We got to meet a bunch of them, which was sick. Album came out.
But-
hopping.
Remember we had that weird plane in Europe?
Yeah.
Yes,
When was that?
that would have been this year, right?
But
Yeah.
it would have been for album release, no?
I think it was just a promo tour for Hey
Just-
Everybody.
Yeah, hey everybody.
Oh my god, it was Hey Everybody.
Yeah, and we promoted it for a really long time.
Yeah, we gave Hey Everybody everything we could. We
Mhm.
really did.
But these
We
were like,
tried.
we definitely tried, and this is us experiencing, from if you zoom out, like we were aware that there would be peaks and valleys in our career. We weren't aware they would be so intense. So the year before we've had, we won Song of the Year for She Looks So Perfect, and then now we're in this next year and we're trying to keep this wave going that people were listening to us and coming to our shows, and just for listener perspective, and we're trying to keep this momentum going as you do when you're in a band, and that's kind of the crazy thing. I mean, I always say, like, we just kept attacking, like we kept trying to create more and more momentum to help us kind of get into bigger venues and really connect with people in that live environment, which has been the consistent goal of our band since the get-go.
Yeah.
It's also funny though how that works, like, those peaks and valleys, because I sometimes it kind of disrupts or distorts your like outlook on like what you find is successful and what's failure,
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I look back now and everything was successful, but I remember coming off stage sometimes and being like, fuck man, like only fucking 8,000 people showed up, like there were empty seats everywhere, and it was so like that outlook was it's kind of sad to like look back on that,
Yeah.
and like not realize like what you had at the time.
It changed, I mean, from when we released Sounds Good, Feels Good specifically, and we knew that we'd kind of drifted from what the first album was by a little bit. We kind of made a record that was a little more, a little more specific to a genre, and it was more rock, and it was, definitely what it was. And I mean, like, it was a fucking massive success. It was number one.
Yeah.
It like sold like 200,000 copies in its first week in the US. Like it was a massive record, and we had people around us telling us that it was a failure,
Mhm.
and that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
needed
yeah.
to like pull it together and like, you know what I mean. And then we went on the year after that to play on that. From that album, we played the biggest tour that we've ever played.
Mhm.
But we still had people telling us.
Yeah, they
That
told us it was a critical commercial failure,
Yeah.
which was
Ooh.
so. Then we went into 20, down the road. Everybody, we get to the good parts, but this again kicked us in the arse and was like, okay, and we were forced to understand the music industry a little differently, because we were like, okay, we have to justify what is success to us, not anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, what is it to us? And how do we focus on the truthful things in our path, like keep just sticking to the songs, keep relying on the songwriting, because that'll take you there, So we kept going back into the studio more ambitious every time because of these outer perspectives kind of affecting us, which was a crazy time too. But I know 2015 was. The band was really united, and we felt really good about this record that we put together. And it was a long record. It was a 17-track
Yeah.
masterpiece.
Hell yeah.
And
I mean-
that first headline tour was so fucking long and so huge as well. That took up the majority of the. This is a busy year.
You're really
Yeah,
busy,
to release an album and play a full tour. That's a lot.
Anyhow,
Yep, and we got slimed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I remember getting slimed.
Oh,
That was fun.
didn't we put out What I Like About You? Or was that for Live Sauce?
I think that. Oh
was a
yeah,
single on
that
Live
was
Sauce.
Live Sauce. Yeah.
Mm,
That's gone. That's last year.
jam.
2015. I mean, I just nothing Like we would, it kind of gets to a point where the years become, we toured and we played award shows and promoted a record.
Yeah,
It's
I
kinda-
definitely think this was the year where we got to relive that first feeling where we, back in 20, whatever it was, when we were living at Perfect Sound Studios together, we got to live in a house together again.
Yeah.
And that was a really amazing time, and we were doing a lot of writing and like just developing as a young band in a house together still, which was a real cool period for us. Because we were growing into a rock band, not just like little boy, like little, we were like trying to really push it forwards and being ambitious about it and trying to learn about it and enjoying our new relationships with people that had done it already. That was the best part about 2015 for me. Was
And also just like living somewhere. We'd never been in the same place for more than like a week.
not since 2012.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
like the very beginning. So like having that time, we were living in the same place for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
2
just-
months.
Yeah, which was awesome. Which was way longer than I think we could have ever.
In my head, it feels like an eternity.
Right,
It feels like
yeah.
we were there for 3 years.
See, I don't remember this. We toured Rock Out with Your Socks Out, then we released songs off of Sounds Good Feels Good on the tour.
This is what I said before. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
weird, isn't
released
it?
we released Fly Away on the first date of the tour.
And then I remember we rehearsed. So I think we did the UK and Europe, and like that was just on the first album. And then I remember rehearsing at Soundcheck for the first show of the American Rock Out with the Socks Out tour, which was in Vegas.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we would learn songs on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, I totally do remember that. We were
Yeah.
learning the songs that were, and then we got to the end of this, of the Rock Out with Your Socks Out tour, and the album had come out, and we had another few weeks left of the tour, and we were like, should we be playing the new album on those last few ones? But we were like, we'll save it
just
for
wait.
the next year tour,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy. We were just like putting everything into like hyperspeed.
Yeah.
We were like, how can we get an album out this year? How can we get like another tour? How can we get people to come to the next tour? And yeah, crazy. Crazy vibes. But 2015 was awesome. That house that we lived in,
Trevor Horn's
Trevor
house.
Horn's house.
Let's maybe we could animate some of these guys. He had done hits such as you're waking up in a bedroom. You got Trevor Horn's posters and memorabilia everywhere. You're waking up every day to a poster of the band Tattoo, all the things she said. You're
Yep.
waking up to looking at a couple of
owner,
awards that
owner
Seal.
Of owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
By Yes, you're looking at Seal.
Yeah.
Kiss from a Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And that house unfortunately burned down.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sad.
that is sad, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's all right.
That's the
I'm
end.
sure
That's the end of the ep.
that's the end of the episode. I'm sure he got the insurance money.
We wrote
and
some good
built a
songs
better
there,
one.
though.
Yeah, we did. We ate a lot of McDonald's there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yep.
I remember I was staying in that top room the first time we stayed there, and Jay-Z had stayed there before us, and he left all his weed.
Oh, sick.
It was fun. That was great.
Yeah.
I was not. I
Do you
was
reckon
not
it's the
weed.
secret to Jay-Z's success, though?
Well, we can talk
Yes.
about that when we competed against them for that number 1 spot. Remember?
Ooh,
Oh.
The battle of the century.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
But 2015 summary is, like every other year, shit was crazy. We did our best.
Yep.
We really did.
We did our absolute best.
Disclaimer: this is not what happened. This is just what we remember.
How come he gets to say the catchphrase?
Because I came up with
Disclaimer.
That's good though.
Dis-
I mean, you're not going to
disclaimer,
deliver
why
it
does
any
Michael
better.
it.
get
Are you
to
gonna?
this?
Are you gonna say it then? Fucking say it.
Disclaimer. This is what we remember.
This is what what happened that we remember but can't.
Forget.
Yes.
But can't forget.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty hilarious.
Yeah. These aren't the things we remember. These
Okay.
are just the things we can't forget.
We have 2 pages. Oh my god.
2016.
2016.
Wow. Okay, we're going to kick it off with a big moment. Probably one of the band's biggest moments of all time, which is the birth of the Onion shirt. I wore it for the first time in the first date of the Japanese leg of the tour for Sounds Live, Feels Live, and it's a Bon Jovi shirt.
Yeah.
I was really happy with it. It's a vintage shirt. Very nice. And Michael comes up to me and goes, "Why does your shirt say onion on it?" About to go in front of 15,000 people, Mike. 10?
Also,
5.
is that Nagoya? Nagoya, Japan?
Yep.
Oh, no, I guess it wasn't the first stop then.
Oh,
It was
okay.
the Budokan one.
Well, also,
Nagoya.
Nagoya was the first and last time we ever played Broken Home
Live, yeah.
live.
And it didn't go terribly. It was just, I mean, what did we expect? Did we expect
we were on
everyone?
the same stage.
I mean, it didn't go that bad. It was okay. But, like, if you compare that song specifically to the rest of the other songs in the set, they were all the fucking same. It all sucked.
It
So-
wasn't a yeah.
And that's about
We
that's about it.
that's about 2016.
No, that's
yeah.
so 2017.
Yeah,
I
guess
remember-
we covered the onion shirt.
Yeah, they got it.
And then
It's awesome.
we returned to LA
Yeah, and then we started rehearsing.
and we got into rehearsal for Sounds Live, Feels Live World Tour because we're about to go around and see everybody.
And I remember we opened with Carry On, and I still have the piano at my house
do.
in Sydney. That was where it ended up. And I remember we changed, because I remember trying to figure out, like, okay, how are we going to have the organ sound or whatever, but then I want to play the big piano notes. So I was like, I can't have two. You know, that would just be weird if I'm like organ, piano. I mean, I guess he could have.
So you were the first keys member of the band.
I was the
You were
OG
technically.
keys member. Very glad to not have that responsibility anymore, by the way. That was really annoying. Definitely guitar is
You nailed
where
it.
I'll
though.
stay.
You're
I'll
a great
stay. I'll
pianist.
stay. I remember we changed the first half of the keyboard to all be an organ, and then the right hand side of the keyboard to be a piano.
A piano.
But low octaves. High octave on the left one, but then low octave on the left one. On the
Nice.
right one, sorry. And yeah. I remember opening with Carry On was pretty awesome. We honestly, that show was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
We really crushed it for that show.
We had Waste the Night. We had Vape. Our ballad section was heat.
Yeah.
We had Waste the Night. We had Vapor. We had Amnesia. Sometimes we'd play Catch Fire
Sometimes, yeah. If you
Sometimes.
get lucky to be at a show that we'd play Catch Fire.
if you got lucky. I mean, that's
We had the
beside you. I'm
the
pretty
guitar
sure.
battle
Maybe
and-
maybe dabbled in there.
The guitar battle and Castaway.
Castaway.
Epic
Huge.
guitar battle.
Fly Away never happened because we played it once in
We said nope.
soundcheck and it fucking sounded so
It
bad.
was so bad. There was a section where I stood in front of the audience for 5 minutes before playing Jet Black Heart, basking in.
Oh, that was
They
that
were all
tour.
just basking in my glory, you know.
Nice.
course.
By the end of that
course they
tour, your like silence breaks were so long.
They were so long.
Yeah.
I could like comfortably go to the bathroom and like I'd be
chill
like
for a minute.
I'd just be out the back like having chats to the local crew.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. Me and Cal would just hang backstage. You tended to stay close to the drums. Sometimes you'd come out. Towards the end, I thought you would come out because it was going so long. But me and Cal would just hang backstage, have a drink, maybe
Yeah.
go to the bathroom, have a
Times-
chat.
I'm working hard on stage, you know, doing standing very still. And then what do we close with? I think we always close with "She Looks So Perfect," don't we? We should get a set list. I'm sure we have an awesome fucking set list for that.
I just bought one on eBay.
You did.
You want to tell that story?
I don't know.
Wait, was that
No,
Sounds
but
Like
if
Feels
you've
Like?
ever worked on a crew for us and you think that we can't see you selling our stuff on eBay,
But
think again.
the funniest part is
Because I'll find it.
my
When you get a bid
God.
from Ashton Irwin.
the
I
funny,
think you.
Ashton bids.
someone like a fan is really like has like sought out this set list on eBay and is like, oh, I love Sounds Live, Feels Live. I'm gonna grab like this set list,
would be
and then they got an email saying you've been outbid.
Outbid by Malibu Steve.
Outbid, and it's actually the drummer of the band.
Putting down cash. I paid $112 US.
Oh, it didn't go past there.
No,
You got it.
I got it.
Because you bid 100 and then someone came in at like 110, didn't they?
Most of it were paid for a piece of paper, but it has Callum's writing on it. And I
Nah.
didn't.
It doesn't.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
It's Nigel's.
That's mine.
No.
Yeah,
It's
that's all.
Nigel's.
That's all mine. Yeah.
He's
You wrote
authenticated
that?
it for
Yeah,
me.
I wrote that.
Wow. Do
I
you
wrote
mind?
that for Nigel. Nigel's was our guitar tech, by the way. Hi, Nigel. If he's definitely not listening.
No way.
But yeah, that was my
Wow.
handwriting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ashton, you're the
Wow.
proud owner.
And it looks like in 2016 we won 3 Kids' Choice Awards again, which is Teen Choice Awards.
I don't know how we were winning those.
What for?
We'll be in a band.
Just doing our stuff.
Yeah.
But literally 2016 was just massive touring.
Yeah, I know we have an awesome plaque that was like a jacket that had a bunch of stats.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That one's really cool. I think my glass broke, but
Apparently,
yeah,
we
it's
played
awesome.
in 92 cities.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a big tour. This is actually the tour that I remember we were in Estonia or
Oh yeah.
and the guy from Queen, Brian May from Queen,
Uh-huh.
Guy from Queen.
that guy from Queen came to the show, and it was the show that we had the guitar battle in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware. You were like, "Oh, Brian May might come to the show." Was it
Mhm.
Estonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Estonia.
And I was like, in my head, he wasn't there because I couldn't see him. I picture I could see him,
Yeah.
And then right before the guitar battle, Ashton points and goes, "Brian May's down there."
I mean, and you could see him. By
He-
God, in a
but-
sea of people,
By
just the largest set of just white, beautiful hair. You've
Yeah.
ever
But
seen.
he filmed the gig on a 3D camera.
He did.
And then he
posted
came
it, yeah.
backstage and he posted it. Yeah. Dad.
Very awesome.
Stop. Yeah.
Dad, stop.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But you, Michael, you did something that I always regret that I didn't do. You asked him to sign the set list.
Oh, I wish I did that. Where is that?
It's in my drawer.
Oh
in
my
house.
god, that hurts to
Yeah.
hear you say that.
I know. I
But
wish.
it fucking ripped.
Oh,
Not the whole thing, but just the bottom part. But and it's blank. Like the bottom half is blank. Wonder how much I,
I
could
reckon.
sell that.
Yeah, I reckon if you put that on eBay, you get.
You get Malibu Steve.
I'm bidding for sure.
Yeah, it'd be all
Because
us three.
I fucking want it.
Yeah, I watched him sign
I'm
it too.
throwing down on that.
I just hate that some poor kid has
Not
been
some poor kid.
has been outbid by the drummer of the band.
That's too bad. I was willing to throw down. That's too bad.
But yeah, that was a long tour. I mean, we also moved. We moved to LA.
Yeah,
we
that
finally
was,
moved.
that was
Yeah,
when
we moved to
Oh,
LA.
we moved in together.
Yeah, me and Ash moved in together. Luke and Mike tried to move into. You guys want to delve into that?
Lived together for a month. We were just overpaying.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah, you were
crazy.
overpaying.
wasn't the
Like
right spot.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, Callum and I are good at seeking out a budget.
We were also definitely overpaying
Yeah.
to not be there for like 9 months.
So I was gonna say we fucking weren't even there. We toured until October, and I remember that those two Horden Pavilion shows at the end. It was very weird.
Emotional time because we had toured back to back for 5 years straight.
Yeah.
It'd been a
Um,
full 5 years of just like going ham, and I remember on that second Horden Pavilion show afterwards, I remember I sat in the car to drive back to where I grew up, and it was the first day since it's like 2011 that we didn't have a schedule for what's coming next. Like
Mhm.
there wasn't a
It had
hey,
come-
so we'll see you in
Yeah.
this date. It was just like you're done. And I remember I literally almost cried the whole way home. I felt like so
Yeah.
like damaged from like it was the first time that I felt like I had like taken a breath
Wow.
in years. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, so basically since we had started this at the end of 2016 was the first time we had stopped. And the conversation was like, well, when you guys feel like starting to write again, let us know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, okay, that's what we'll do.
I don't think it was any more. It was literally. I remember we were like, we don't want to do anything. We just want to tour. And can we just do that? Because all the other tours before had been so intense with all this other. I was about to say shit, but all this other stuff that we like was really awesome to do. But you just want to focus on like playing the shows
Yeah.
and make the most. And for how long the tour was, we got our wish. We got to just play shows.
I think also like that was the year for me where we really became an amazing live act in my eyes,
Mhm.
in my perception. We've really we deserved our own self-recognition in terms of like being able to craft a great like exciting live show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that one ourselves, I think, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
MMD. Okay.
I noticed in 2016 after we'd been working for so long, and I think the hardest part was the Christmas shows.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Ben left those out.
Yep. I said to the guys at this point in time, I said, this shit's... I'll do an explicit version, then I'll do a polite version. I said, this shit's fucked. We're being overworked. I'm out. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, Philadelphia. We're in. Were we?
I guess that
In Philly.
was the year
I
before.
said, I'm going to catch a
Was it?
train.
yeah.
I'm going to catch a train to Seattle
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, because you were like, if I go to an airport, they'll track me.
They'll be able to get me.
Yeah. So you said, if
Which-
I take a train, I'll be completely...
Who is they?
They is the
CIA.
fucking security, the management,
Yeah.
the radio.
Yeah.
At this
said
point in
if I
time,
take-
I'm obviously experiencing some kind of paranoia as well.
if I take a train, I'll be off grid.
So I just said, I got to take a form of transport they're not going to predict I'm going to get on. And I found a direct line to Seattle, and then I was going to fly.
So, wait.
And
To
I
LA.
had already planned out what I was going to say if they
Yeah.
asked
Me
me.
too.
Where's Ash? Who's Ash?
Yeah.
Tell me again who that is.
Yeah, we actually
Why
weren't
don't
as
you tell me your
concerned.
interpretation of Ash?
Oh, is Ash with us right now?
But I didn't do it.
Wait, so did we finish in Sydney and then go?
No, it was the last year. It was end of 2015 we did the radio shows.
Oh,
That's
man.
what we did. But we can just put this version in the last one. Maybe.
It's just got such beer energy. The way you're sitting, the bottle, the
cap.
can.
Yeah. Big beer.
Yeah, it's
vibe.
actually sparkling water. I've had about 6. They're really just hydrating.
I remember we had a trainer with us at the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Doubled as a bassist.
It's funny. It's good.
So
You got to
Continue.
Yeah, you got to. When he gets it right, you
I
got to give it
love
to him.
you know, you got to correct me on it. And I remember everyone was starting to feel bad about eating.
Well, this is getting very duddy.
I mean, hey, Andy asked, what's a day in the life like? All right, I wake up, and then the trainer asked me to work out, and I do it. I box, and then I try and sneak in some white rice. If he catches you,
He's going to shame you.
shame. Oh, white rice, huh?
What the fuck? Eating rice.
I
dude.
pay you.
I'm so sorry.
oh, chicken thigh, huh?
2016 was just machining.
Yeah, we did work out a fair bit.
I thought I had my head screwed on.
I remember I had these 2 specific necklaces that I loved to wear. One was like a rosary, with it was like a black. This is really fucking boring, actually, but it was like a black. It was like a black necklace, and then the other one was like a bronze, kind of like chain, and I lost them. And I
Oh, you
was-
lost them.
Yeah, and I was really sad.
Sure,
and I
we
wore
can
them every
animate
day
that.
on the tour. Yeah, we can do some sort of animation for that.
We should probably put that at the...
Yeah, maybe
Forefront.
that's the beginning of this year.
So Gretsch said to me, they're like, well, cool, man, let's make you a drum kit. And I said, great. Are you serious? And they're like, yep, whatever you want. Whatever I want. Whatever I want, all right. So I said, I want something like Neil Peart. I'm sure we can
You did not
animate
say
Neil
that.
Peart. I did,
Those are your words?
yeah.
Amazing.
And it was a 32-piece drum kit. And yeah, I was living my 80s dreams.
I remember your rototoms there was like 6 of them.
I had 6 rototoms.
Yeah.
I remember. Actually, something that was really good was you really had your heart set on Callum having a champagne bottle on his amp in an ice bucket.
Mate,
Yeah.
you're skipping forward about 4 years.
Wait, wasn't that Sounds Life Feels Life?
No, that was the undersell tour for 5 Sauce 3.
Shit.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah, you're
You had a champagne bucket on your amp?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Oh, what for 1 gig,
Oh.
No,
for a couple gigs,
because Ash would sneak it. It'd
and
be
then
like, just
and
do
then
it.
it became like more of it. And then
Alright.
26, and then yeah.
I think we need a
2016 sucked.
we need a really good animation of 6 rototoms being played.
Maybe the Patrick Star thing. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about
We'll be
some
back
of
after we play Miles Davis. So blue. Some kind of
this. I
blue.
mean, 2017 was the year we just hustled on writing.
Yeah.
I think we were like frustrated on the style of song we were writing. I was personally. And I didn't understand how people could write consistent pop songs. Like, just was like such a mind-blowing thing. that people could have more consistency with their songwriting. So I feel like 2017 for me personally, and when we all write together, it was like, how do I learn more about pop music, and how do I, get involved in like how these people, other people that we admired, like Andrew Watt and Rami Yacoub and people like that, how do we write songs like these people,
Mm-hmm.
because the pop punk thing had really hurt us on the last record. We knew it was a success, but we didn't have any like successful singles to some extent.
Yep.
So we were frustrated, and we're in 2017. I just remember a lot about, well, what do we do different instead of running around in the same loops, So it was a lot of questioning our music and a lot of like trying to rebuild the band's sonic, and like how do you keep moving now, and how do we grow the band up a little bit? Yeah, that's what I thought about a lot in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Just learning how to write in a more pop way, I suppose, and just like really, that was really the whole I mean, these shows here, like this is less than a month of touring, so it's not even. They were awesome shows, and we tried to do some festivals, which is really rad. It's our first time playing proper festivals, but the rest of the time was literally just writing, and like I feel like we internally knew that the band needed to change in some capacity, and I think we went through a lot of different genres to get there, or like a lot of different influences. We knew we wanted it to be something more, because the whole point of the band when we started was we wanted to be like a people's band and like have as many people as possible listen to us, and how do we continue with where we came from, but also grow to another songwriting level, and I don't know, use those tools to, I don't know.
Yeah, and at this point in time, we had a lot of trouble getting in rooms with writers. I remember, like, we would request to write with people. They'd be like, "Oh no, we don't do that. We don't do the pop punk thing." Like,
Yeah.
and we're like, "We don't want to do pop punk. We want to write pop rock.
Yeah.
We want to write songs that are like, accessible to people, but with influence." And then we discovered, and a lot of punk bands end up saying this, but you dive into the new wave stuff, and we were like, okay, what's the gradual progression of a punk rock band into a pop band? And then you start to discover bands like Blondie, and like, you go back in time and you start to study how garage bands turned into having pop hits.
Yeah.
And that for 2017 was all about like studying and how the hell do we do this now, and how do we make this, how do we create more longevity by staying true to our roots, but writing, more high quality songs.
And we did a lot of 2017 with like no real support system. It was
Not at
kind
all.
of just the four of us kind of figuring out what to do on our own. And, a lot of people had taken a step back at that point from our
Mhm.
project. And it was kind of, we'd sort of look at it and be like, okay, like, what do we know how to do? And we're like, we know how to write songs, and we know how to, play live and stuff. So let's just focus on that, and hopefully the rest of everything else falls into place. And yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty scary year because it was like we have to redevelop the band on our own.
I mean, for real, you had to actually
start again.
revamp the whole band again. That's what it felt like to us anyway, because like you said, there was way less of a support system around us. So it was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, you've quickly realized that once something doesn't go the way that music business people think it should have gone, then you realize, oh, okay, then it's just up to us to make the band awesome.
Yeah, so now we had like a vengeance attitude that was like, well, we need to write a hit song because otherwise we're fucked, and that was the reality of our existence then, because it's like, how do you keep this thing going if we had a hit song 4 years ago? What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
How do we come out of this? Because we wanted to keep having success, but in a truthful way. So it was like 2017 was a massive, like an artist development year, I guess.
Yeah.
It was exploring visuals and references and music and enjoying, like, we were living in LA now, and it was enjoying like socializing with other writers and people that did similar things to us. And
Yeah, we never really had a personal life
We never had-
until this year.
yeah,
Yeah.
until 2017 we hadn't had like music community really. And we didn't really have any other people in our lives that were like pursuing music with their whole being,
Mhm.
So it was cool. It was like, okay, we'll get out there and find people that can help and help you make sense of it,
Yeah, we just kept writing until we
Yeah,
could not anymore.
yeah, we tried everything. We tried every genre.
We're
Yeah,
just
you guys flew over to Sweden
Yeah,
and did like
couple times, eh?
yeah.
Yeah, Luke and I did a trip to Sweden because we were like, and that really blew our minds open with melody
Mm-hmm.
and learning about melody as a separate thing from instrumentation and track and music, and not just coming up with something that you feel rather than, now we kind of understood, well, we can always come up with a melody that's best for a piece of music now you're not just stumbling in the dark anymore and like waiting for something for inspiration to strike. You could go in every day and write something that was hooky as shit rather than like
Yeah.
waiting for inspiration to strike, which was a really useful tool for us, and we've used that ever since, in our writing. But this year was cool too. In 2017, we kind of went to a bunch of places we'd never been to before. We went to Peru, and we went to Brazil, and we ended up playing Rock in Rio.
Which was fucking amazing.
Rock in Rio was rad.
Yeah, it was kind of like a live highlight of our whole career because we were pretty out of our depth with our catalog. We only had one like big song in our career, and we're playing in between Pet Shop Boys, and it was Lady Gaga and Maroon 5, and it's like, well, damn.
Yeah,
Well,
artists who had been doing that for like
Yeah.
ever.
And it's not fully an English speaking country either, so when you have songs that do well, it like really eases that, you can play them and everybody knows them because they're hits. But we only had one hit, so we're getting out there in front of 100,000 people and giving it our all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turned out we made a great impact with our live show in Brazil when we did that, and it was like the start of something really special for us in that country. But that was a great test, and it was probably the most powerful gig we've ever played, ever.
The guitar battle lived on.
The guitar battle got memorialized with that video. I stuck around in Rio for about 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
after Rock in Rio. Yeah,
Oh.
it's awesome. I
Wow.
hopped around to different places. Went to a hotel in like Copacabana Beach. It's awesome.
Wow.
Nice.
Amazing city.
I forgot that you did that.
Fucking awesome.
But in 2017, towards the end, one of the last two songs we wrote, one was Lie to Me and the other one was Youngblood. And we wrote that in down by the Beverly Center was it East West Studio? No.
I thought it was that West Lake or something.
Oh, Westlake, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So we'd written that, and then yeah. I mean, it's hard not to go into the next year right now.
Yeah.
So we walked in, Andrew Watt's late, Ali Tamposi's sitting there, and I said, well, Andrew would probably just do something like this, right? And he does the thing on,
Yeah.
Thirds.
the thirds.
Yep.
And Ali instantly starts vibing. I'm like, great job, Ash. Like, you nailed this. And we started to write that song, and it came together pretty quick, but we had already had a couple melodies or two from another session. And for some weird reason, the song was in the same key, I guess, so it reminded me that existed. And it ended up being a chorus, and we were kind of hodgepodging all these different ideas from the past and present together in this one song. And I remember we were trying to get the tempo of, who was Fetty Wap, My Way. And I was like, I said to Andrew when he got there, I'm like, if the tempo, if the guitar did something that grooves like a hip hop song, this would be really cool. And he goes, well, yeah, Andy Summers would do something like this, which turned out being like a major cornerstone of like our musical identity. But that session only went for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, a lot of those. I remember at that time, because of Ash, I was listening to so much, like, because we're in that new wave world, trying to like figure out how do we remain like truthful to what we want to do, and like we're a band, but we want to be in this space, more so like in a pop, I guess, space, or just more whatever the word is, and listening to a lot of like Depeche Mode and Tears for Fears and Michael Jackson and all those grooves that's kind of where that song was definitely influenced from. So and then like when you listen, I listened to the album the other day, and it's such an odd, awesome collection of songs because it's written over such a expansive amount of time with lots of different people,
which we were like incredibly frustrated with.
Yeah.
Like, this was a hard album to put together.
Yeah. And it was scary. It's been a long time since we put out an album.
Yeah. And our record label were in the UK. They didn't like Youngblood.
Yeah.
They didn't want to release it as a single, which was really like pretty mind-blowing to us. We're like, well, shit. And we ended up going with Want You Back first, which was a crazy vibe, which is next year. Yeah.
2017.
But honestly,
yeah.
I don't have a lot of fond memories about 2017. It was like just digging us out of the trench, really.
It really was.
It wasn't like a super happy time. It was like the band is on a downward trajectory. What do we do? Which is a terrifying place to be. It's like...
Yeah, especially when you feel a little bit abandoned by, or like people in your team have taken a step back.
Yeah.
You know, that's scary. And
Yeah.
you haven't had an album in a minute, and everyone told you that album didn't do very well. So you better do something quick.
Yep.
You better figure it out.
Yeah, and what this year really built up was mental resistance towards the whole business in general. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't be attached to any of these outcomes because it's too up and down. Like, and I can't continue being a free-flowing artist with with people like coming and going and teams building and eroding and songs doing well and songs doing terribly, and it's like you just can't live and die by it, you know? So I feel like I learned personally a lot this year in 2017 about sticking to like my intuition and going, no, it is that way. Although no one supports it, it's that way,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, okay, so it's 2018 and all cylinders are firing. We've got a record together. Callum's something's happened in his life, so I go around to pick him up to go to rehearsal to start rehearsing all this new music. And guess in the car he's all bummed. I'm like, no worries, dude. We're gonna get us some milkshakes. Everything's
Yum.
gonna be sweet.
I go, yum.
So
I love milkshakes. Callum
this
says.
is such a fucking stupid story. I don't know why I'm saying this. And anyways, we get milkshakes. We crash the car. We still go to rehearsal. That's the way I perceive it in my head. Rehearsal was the only thing we had. No, I don't know. I didn't really know what to touch on first.
I think a big moment was even just getting the third album done and getting it over the line and getting it there, and then like positioning it for, you know, a single to come out with Want You Back. That's a huge milestone after getting through 2017 of fighting to create something from nothing, and then finally be able to release it. And then we knew we had to sort of start, because we sort of had felt like we'd start again is a bit extreme, but like had to, you know, do some real searching on what the band's going to be for the next 10 years. We did a run of small shows, 5/3 tour, which we were playing the new album on and just sort of like going around and visiting fans around the world.
Yeah, I remember pulling up in Sweden and getting backstage in the dressing room back there, and it was a very small room, lots of mirrors everywhere.
Oh yeah.
just looking at yourself no matter where you go. It was very strange. And I just remember sitting back there and then looking out at the crowd, and I was like, wow, feels like back to the beginning in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
It really was like starting again, and there were like 250 people slammed in a tight club in Sweden. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I guess like the whole goal of these shows back then was we didn't want to call this tour anything too extreme. We just wanted people to know that it's our third record that we're trying out. And I know we kind of built this tour to go and spread around the new sound. Like we spent a lot of time explaining to people that we're doing a new sound. It's not punk rock. It's
We visited a lot of different places as well.
yeah, and it was all built around like re-describing the band to
Yeah.
everybody, and if it
Yeah.
was cool that they still played us, which was a crazy time, you know.
Yep. And after going through the the 5 Sauce 3 tour. I think we were halfway through that when we said, we think Youngblood should come first. We were like, let's put it out as a what were you calling it?
Instant grad.
Like an instant grat, or which is if you pre-order, if you pre-order the record, you get Youngblood, which we called the album anyway.
But
and yeah,
I was just gonna say as well, this is the first album we would be doing streaming.
yeah,
Like streaming at the forefront of the marketing plan. So we had to go into Spotify and Apple and Deezer,
which we'd never done.
which we'd never
Amazon,
done, and literally introduce ourselves. They'd never met us. We had never participated in streaming, and they were like, "Okay, so like, what's the new sound?" And we showed them, and they were like, "Oh." So we had to build like alliance with people to like accept the new sound and let us have another shot.
And then Youngblood starts kind of going a little crazy on streaming, and there's a couple of I told you so's going around.
There's a couple,
maybe there's a couple, and then we get a phone call from the guy down in Australia, the Australian label, and they're basically telling us that they want to go with that as the single in Australia rather than Want You Back. And we're kind of like, okay, let's try it. Like, that was what we thought. So, they start going with Youngblood, and then Youngblood really starts to, like, seep into the kind of music scene down in Australia, which ends up kind of evolving outwards to the rest of the world as well, until the song had kind of given everyone else in the world no option but to go with it because it was kind of going so well everywhere else.
And this is one of the first times this is happening. This is a big moment for Aussie music too, because now records are starting to break from Australia, which they never do. You always are expected to go to the US first and try break the record from the US, but now our song is breaking out of Australia, which is a huge moment for this band.
That Dean Lewis song broke out of Australia. Tones and I out of Australia.
And then there's been an endless stream ever since.
Yeah,
which is an amazing time.
Even Kid Leroy now.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy actually.
Yeah, and it was an amazing spread on that song, and we just watched it grow and grow and grow, and it was an amazing thing to experience. Because after 2017, after we had spoken about okay, what do we even do and how do we do this, we were kind of receiving a kickback for being like, I don't know, just still chasing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we would have conversations with people and be like, oh yeah, like we love Youngblood, we think it's super forward thinking for like this band, and we want to release it first. And everyone was like, I mean, someone said to Ash, what, live drums will never be played on radio?
Yeah, that was our record label guy. He's like, live drums, man, you got to ditch the live drums.
Yeah, so when Youngblood was doing so well, it was like a really comforting thing for this band, because that indicated that we could blend all our worlds and it still derive from an honest place, and it still have an impact on music culture, which was really cool. And for it to stem from Australia was really special as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when that song started to kick off, we had limited time and limited budget. We didn't have any budget left to make any music videos. We had I think it was a small amount of money. And so we didn't have time to film a video for it. So we ended up sending somebody to Japan.
We're on a train somewhere.
Yeah.
And someone comes up to us and asks, I think it's fucking crazy, but we were in Japan.
Yeah.
I want to say we were in Japan on the train from Tokyo to Osaka, and someone came to us and said, hey, we want to film a video for Youngblood, but you don't have time. Like, you don't have a day off in the next 2 weeks that you can record a video. And I remember us being like, well, then fuck, like, what do we do? And then whoever it was said we could have a director go somewhere and film the video without us.
Yeah, because at that time we were hell-bent on not being on the cover of everything because our image had been so exploited that we were like, well, how do we grow up?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you just stop putting yourself on the cover of everything and just dial it back. So I guess at the time it was a good strategic move for us to just do something like this that was like not throwing the band's image down your throat was just like a narrative that represented the lyric.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we'd ever done anything like that. So we ended up tapping into the Japanese rockabilly culture, which was relevant to our whole journey and people we were meeting and the clothes we were wearing and the style we were digging. And we ended up doing that with Frank Barn, who you'll remember from episode number 1. We met him in Saddle Ranch. And now he's back again. He's in 2018 now, and he's had a lot of success with other people. And we're calling him up again going, hey, we need you to make a video for us, but we can't be in it.
Yep.
And we ended up doing a live video for Youngblood, which was
Filmed at the Coco?
on the 5 Sauce 3 tour,
Was it
Yeah.
Heaven?
which was filmed at Heaven, which is a great night out, usually.
Yep, usually.
And-
when we're not playing.
When we're not playing. And yeah, so we were kind of, again, acting on the fly, trying to just get this thing off the ground.
Go with
Like,
what we could.
Yeah.
And
Then we started the Meet You There tour. Where did we play for that? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
which is a cool thing. Like, we wanted to call that tour La Vie en Bleu at the time because we were trying to do this, like, more sophisticated, like, fucking Depeche Mode thing. We're like, we need to grow this band up. Like, what do we do that improves our image in a way that it's, like, resonates with this new way of music we're making, this dark pop single that we've got working called Youngblood. Like, how do you tie everything in with that aesthetic, you know? And I guess 2018 is when we really started thinking about the aesthetics that tie in with our music and the way the visual world ties in with the music and the way the culture comes from the way we present that. So we started to switch our minds on to really, really putting effort into what things were called and why they were called that. But Meet You There tour was probably my favorite tour we've ever done.
yeah, it was awesome.
The stage was amazing.
Yeah.
The production. Was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
We had like the lights that came up
Yeah.
in threes and stuff.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then, yeah, we played so many amazing shows on that tour. That was like fucking so sick.
And it just felt like the band were great. Like, the catalog was like the 3 albums were starting to be fun. We could create diverse set lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it was starting to have little eras that the fans were enjoying, and it's like we started to stumble into a really great season of the band's existence in 2018. And yeah, very grateful for everything that happened to us from then.
Mm-hmm.
Did we play in Oz then? We played Horden again, didn't we?
I think so, yeah. We did at the end of that.
Oh, and I mean, in November in 2018, we won Best Rock Act, and we also won Best Group, Best Aussie Live Act, and Song of the Year at the Arias, which was crazy.
Yeah, that was a
Oh,
big
that was
night.
that was a huge night for us.
Arias taking home 3 awards. That's very big.
Yeah. Fuck, I remember that night. I remember I was wearing a jumpsuit. I was
That's
very thankful I was wearing a jumpsuit because I wasn't sweaty.
Oh,
This
nice.
is nice. Yeah.
I wore some weird Prince thing.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it was cool.
It was cool.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Kind of.
Was it the thing that when you rubbed on it, it changed colors?
That was for the carpet. Yes,
Yeah,
darling,
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
carpet.
Yeah, that
my-
was
the
my carpet
That
look.
was the carpet
This
outfit.
tour was not nearly as long as other tours we'd done.
Nope, and that was because we said we couldn't do
No
that
more
long.
going on tour for 5 years, we
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, we said no more touring.
How long was the tour?
I think it was only like 3 months.
42 shows, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
Performance.
we did do a whole tour before that.
So we're sitting on a plane. Flight's rammed. Not even a seat open. It's really busy. We're sitting there in our chairs, and then the guy, this is the week after our record had come out, Youngblood, and as we're sitting there, we're waiting to find out where we ended up charting for the week, on the Billboard charts or whatever. And we're sitting there, and the flight just continually keeps getting delayed. But we're not too upset because it means we have service and we can keep waiting for the information.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we flying to?
Chicago or something.
Was it Chicago?
Oh, flying out of Chicago back to LA.
I have no idea.
No, it's fine. And then we were up that whole week against the of course, the first time that Beyonce and Jay-Z had done anything together in like years, and they actually started an actual project together called the Carters, which was incredible.
Amazing.
It was so
Yeah.
good. It was so insanely good. So we released our album and we're like, oh, okay, we're fucked. Let's better luck next time.
Yeah.
And
It was a surprise drop.
yeah, by that surprise drop. And then as we keep going down the week, we're like, holy shit, like we might actually be able to do this. And then come that moment, sitting on the tarmac, waiting to take off, our manager walks over to us and says, guys, congratulations. You got a #1 album. And I
Yeah.
remember it was very emotional.
Yeah, and I instantly we deboarded the plane, and I went to McDonald's, got a 20-pack to celebrate.
I was right there.
20-pack of nugs.
Yeah.
I said, all right then.
We celebrated
I
with
said,
a 20
#1, let's get crazy.
He has
Yeah.
a 20-pack. Yep, I remember that. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Nuggets never tasted better.
No, they were success nuggets.
Yes, they were.
The best kind of nuggets. That is a huge moment.
Yep. And I mean, it was just 2018 was really telling about how our career was going in Australia, and we'd really wanted our home country to accept and love us.
Yeah,
And
we longed for it.
it had really turned a page, it felt like, and it was beautiful for us.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like maybe it wasn't the case, but for our whole career, because we started so young, we felt kind of like out of place in Oz. Like the public didn't really understand us, or didn't like us, or were indifferent to us in some whatever it was. And Youngblood, like, really made it all make
Mhm.
sense for them. It felt like, and it's 3 years later, and it's still
It's number 12 today.
it's still on the charts.
Still
so-
charting
Yeah,
from
wow.
that moment.
Damn. It's actually, I think
Still top
20,
20.
we're talking 2018, right?
Yeah.
That was the year that I started to become friends with you guys. I started to really get to know you.
Yeah.
I've really come to like you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning I was a little iffy about it. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, mate, I was iffy for a long time.
The rest of these guys.
We probably should have went the other way, huh?
What?
21 to 11.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Maybe. But,
Should we start again?
we
and
could
do this?
only turn back time. For more days.
We'll release Lie to Me with Julia Michaels. So
And we just don't even mention that.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Whatever. Cool, you got it up?
So we started this year in 2019, probably focusing on. We signed to a new label. Then that was a big thing. We signed to a
spent-
label as adults.
We spent the first... we spent February going into March making Calm with Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, we did, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So we agreed to make Andrew Watt the executive producer of our record, and
That was a quick turnaround, eh?
Was
Oh,
that 2 months, was it?
yeah, we did it in 2 months.
that was Jesus Christ. That was intense.
It was intense.
You know what? Because we knew we also wanted to follow up the album before, and we also didn't want it to be 3 years in between, because we know how that goes for the old band.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a lot of ambition to follow Youngblood as quick as possible, as high quality as possible. So that's why I guess we made the decision to make Andrew Watt the executive producer, because he would help us pull it all together. And he obviously helped us create Youngblood.
Yep. So we all hop into his little basement that has what's that neon he has? What's it say? It's like a
Something about Japan.
Japanese street sign, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only light in the room.
Yep.
And we go down there and just pretty much get our heads stuck in making songs for another 2 months.
I remember he said to me, "What's wrong, man? You seem the most stressed you've ever been." I said, "I am." That's a good observation. Thank you.
We came out of that room with some
Goddamn haters.
good songs, though.
We were on a mission.
Yeah,
We were on an absolute
some
mission.
great songs.
I,
Which I'm
I,
stoked about.
I just mainly like, I don't know when. Oh no, it came out next year. Never mind.
Yeah, I love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
true.
yeah. Okay, so we can't even get to the songs that were on there.
Well, Easier and Teeth came out this year.
Okay, I remember fucking loving Teeth. Thinking this is a really, really rad song, and it felt like we took what we had just done and then elevated it again. So I remember being really excited about that song and hearing it.
Yeah. The song was awesome, and making that album was a really awesome experience, and it was, got to do it in Beverly Hills. Where else?
Yeah, man.
Beverly Hills.
Well, it was in Charlie Chaplin's old studio too,
This is pretty sick.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
for
screening room. Hey.
all the
Mm.
film goers out there.
Yeah. So the vocal booth was The vocal booth was
Booth.
where he would put the film projector.
The projector,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I
And all you
forgot-
film goers will be happy to know that it's all been ripped out, and now now nothing of Charlie's
And
remains.
now people are smoking spliffs in there.
Oh my god. I
Yeah,
just
it's a total. Sorry.
no. Those couple months were just very. I feel like I don't know. You're right. We're on a mission. We had to make this album. And it had to be like amazing,
Uh-huh.
and we had to do it. We wanted to do it quick. It sort of came together quite quickly, and I think, well, personally, I definitely put myself under a lot of pressure, as did we all. But that's just personally what I remember from it. Just like very. I don't know. It wasn't not fun, but I think because of the pressure that was on us and that I felt in myself, it made it definitely slightly less fun. And it was a good lesson to learn that it doesn't always, I don't know, have to be so intense.
Mhm.
Looking back, it can be fun.
Yeah, I mean, an abundance of lessons, man. I mean, as well, like, I think Andrew taught us to, like, believe in the band's ability as well,
Yeah.
which was, an amazing thing. But, when Easier came about, we were following the Youngbloods new wave thing, and we started to sense music was heading elsewhere rhythmically, so we started to mess around with industrial rhythms and stuff, and Andrew understood that really deeply and really helped showcase like a different angle of the band's musicality. Like, I think he really developed our ability to use like more electronic sounds mixed in with our natural playing, which I think is why he's such a good producer. But yeah, that all came together pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing this year was this stems a lot from you, Ash, and your sort of brainchild, but knowing the band wanted to do something more with what we had, which was Friends of Friends, which I think is really rad, and it's something that I really hope we can do more of now the world is open, but when the world is open to Five Sauce.
Yeah, it feels like when you're in a band, when you're a part of songs being successful and everybody's always, saying how good the song is or whatever, it always has felt like you got to achieve more duality. So we love to make sure we do things like Friends of Friends and make sure we showcase other artists, partly because I think no one did that for us in the beginning when we were doing those shows back in 2011, 2012, when people were just starting out and we were just kind of brutalized in a pub with heavy metal bands. It's like I feel like our Friends of Friends thing is a nice little platform for people to showcase how good they are and what they can do in all different art forms and all different kinds of people. And it also, I think Friends of Friends kind of, for our fan base, displays that we support diversity and we support all kinds of walks of life, and we see them and we flow with them wherever we go.
Yeah.
Beautifully put.
Yeah, definitely.
And then comes later in the year when we're sitting at an airport lounge for Qantas, and a Qantas airport lounge, and our manager walks up to us and says, "Hey, there's an opportunity to go on tour with the Chainsmokers." And we were like, "Okay, interesting." And I think we'd done the song,
Or it was about to come out or something.
and then they said, "Should we do a
yeah.
tour?" Yeah,
I
and then
Yeah, this like stems back to even the 1D tour back in the day, where we were like, we thought about it, and it's a unique opportunity to have like a DJ group ask a pop rock band to go on tour. So I think for us, we were like, first thing was like, well, if we want to do it, do we have time? All like the logistical stuff and like how we'll look and like, but then we were trying to figure out how do we make it work for us, and how do we like, this could actually be a great opportunity. And I think that's what I love about this band, is that we take something like that's maybe like an obscure idea and try and, I don't know, make it work for us, and like, you know, the set we did was like almost a DJ-esque jumble up of all our
Yeah.
songs, you know.
Yeah. I think as well, like, EDM is the biggest genre of music on earth. And rock is the least
Yeah.
popular. You know, so we're out here trying to make rock pop, and the genre is failing. There's nobody else out there apart from Imagine Dragons and Maroon 5 in top 20. And it's like, what do you do? So I guess we looked at the polar opposite thinking, and it's like, well, where are all the people at that would never even think of listening to us? And they're at these Chainsmokers
At the
shows.
Chainsmokers show.
It's gotta be, right?
So the
The fuck
theory
else could
the
they be?
theory was, it's like, just get right in front of them then, and show them the musical diversity and impact that a rock band can have, and how entertaining it is and how awesome it is. And hopefully these people will come round to liking our band, and we'll see them at the next tour.
Yeah, that's classic Five Sauce. It's like we could have done an easy thing and not done that.
I mean, you
But that became like our best like curated show.
yeah,
definitely.
That was our best show.
that
for
pushed
sure.
us to the limit, because it's like you're a rock band competing with EDM.
You
Yeah,
know,
who
well,
changes songs every like
It's like
45
David
seconds.
and Goliath,
Yeah.
dude. It's like okay, so we have to play. We're not playing to the audience. We're playing to the audience's attention span that they've been conditioned
yeah.
to experience. So, you know, it was kind of a science project, a psychological project that was
Yeah.
like, well, how do we use our songs? We have 3 albums that are not traditionally anything like EDM,
Yeah.
and we're playing to EDM fans.
But it's funny because we obviously realized like the formula that goes into EDM. I mean, you've been producing, Michael. You've been producing EDM for, you know, a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like everything revolves around, you know, the build and
Builds
then,
the drop. Yeah.
the,
of
hi-
course.
the drop.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we learned to do while we were
Mm-hmm.
curating.
Yeah.
a set.
We would be like, let's play a verse and a chorus.
Yeah.
And then move on.
And
you
then
know?
like, what's our drop for
Yeah.
a rock band?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so you're making essentially coming back around to how hardcore stumbled upon the breakdown.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
you're like,
Wow.
wow. But you're just you're reinventing that with whatever hooks you've got, and you're utilizing every hook like a puzzle,
Yeah.
and you're ramming it into an hour.
And just to close off 2019, we had the album done at this point for like almost 8 months. You know, we had signed off the record and
Yeah.
we were ready to go.
Yeah.
So all the while that we're doing this tour and that we're doing kind of other stuff this year, the only thing that we want to do is just release this album.
Yeah.
The only thing we want to do is like, when can the album come out? When can we like hurry up and put that out? And, you know, we're taking everyone else's advice who's like, oh, you got to move it later in the year, do it after the tour. And then we're like, okay, well then, like, when's that? Is that like late in the year? They're like, probably next year. We're like, okay, cool, we'll go like late January. That gets moved to February, and then that gets moved to March. And then by the time, yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the next episode. But we are sitting on this freaking record that we're just like so amped to get out, and it just felt like fucking forever.
Yeah.
until
And
we
it
got this-
frustrates us because, you know, we as a band, like, and our fans know this, we want to compete with like the biggest artists in the world, and the biggest artists in the world, because of streaming, they act intuitively. When it feels like the music should come out, they usually put it out.
They just put it out.
But because of our conditioning as a band and the way we release music, we would take a year and a half sometimes to release a finished record,
Yeah.
which is not the way we want to operate in the
Yeah.
future. You know, it's like really counterintuitive, which was, you know, frustrates us. So that pushed us into a whole new realm of the way we release music and where we're at today, which we'll
Definitely.
get to.
I think that's a lot of 2019, isn't it?
And that's what you can't forget, but you can't remember, but you did anyway.
Those,
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
those are the things that we remember that we did anyway. 2020. We know enough. You know, we know what happened. But
What happened?
the beginning, here we are in January, playing the fucking biggest show of our lives.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
much,
It
yeah.
started on just such an astronomical high.
Started on such a high.
Well, cop this day, right? Okay, we wake up at the Airbnb. We're not in hotels anymore. We're getting Airbnbs in Sydney.
Yeah, back full circle to the service departments.
Exactly. Now we're hanging out, and we wake up, and we're filming a video for a song called Old Me. And it's a big, long day ahead, but we know the last shot is actually us walking onto stage at ANZ Stadium. And,
wow.
you know, so it was a whole big master plan. We're filming this video with Hannah Lux Davis. We really see this as an opportunity to help, you know, relieve this. I mean, the monstrous fires that ripped through Australia was absolutely devastating. And the Aussie spirit has a really great ability to come together with, you know, community, but also humor and uplifting, positive spirit. And we were a part of that, you know. And it was a great time to go back for the band and play to Australia and show them that we can kick ass live in a stadium and spread like this awesome feeling of positivity and people enjoying this big live show with all these amazing acts. We were sharing the stage with Alice Cooper. We were sharing the stage with Queen, Delta Goodrum. Who else was there? Whole bunch of people. Icehouse.
Yeah.
I know all our fans love Icehouse.
Was Bonzi there?
Bonzi was there.
Fonzie
No.
was
If he wasn't, he should have been.
Fonzie was.
Fonzie was there. Sorry.
Fonzie and Bonzi.
Yeah.
So yeah, we played this amazing. We
Wait,
played
sorry.
this awesome show, and we're starting to play. We're still playing Teeth and Easier, but we closed with Young Blood, and it was kind of the first time we had played it at such an expansive level in our home country, and we were really feeling it.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was probably like one of our best live moments in our band's career. apart from-
such an amazing highlight. Like really, you know, that's the kind of place that you dream of playing as a kid, you know. So like for everything to come full circle like that, and for us to be able to play, you know, the sunset slot at ANZ Stadium, it was just like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was like we had spoken about it since 2011, like
Yep.
playing ANZ.
That was like
Yeah.
that was one of the goals. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's profound that it happened. You know, it was the last show we've played. We haven't played a show since, which is
Until tonight.
which is absolutely wild, you know. But in this year, we continue on to release songs like No Shame, and we released Calm in March, but the Pandini's starting to heat up, and
Yeah,
it turns out we might not be able to get out there and share the good word.
So
Panini.
so we're a week away from our album coming out, when, you know, actually this kind of started
A lot of things got canned.
late in February, where we were like, okay, so, you know, we originally had a trip lined up to go to I think we were going to the Philippines, we were meant to go to Korea and
Singapore.
like Japan, Singapore, go to a bunch of different like
Places in
Asian
Europe.
countries, and then, you know, there was like, when we were a week away, they said, hey, those countries have decided to pull out because of this thing called the coronavirus that, you know, you're having a, you know, that the country's dealing with. So, you know, we won't be going there. We were like, oh, okay, you know, kind of a bummer, but whatever, you know, we'll go to England. And then this is like 3 weeks before our album. We haven't done any promo at all because everything just keeps getting pulled. We're like, okay, well, cool, we'll go to England. And then actually England's getting cancelled. They're dealing with coronavirus as well. Not a problem, you know, we still got the US. You know, we'll go to New York, come back to LA, do the thing. They said, hey guys, New York's pulled, and all in-person interviews in LA are also going to be pulled. So we're like, great, this is awesome. Really just amazing. So what do we do? Sit around and wait.
Yeah.
And our album comes out, Calm, March 27th, and I'm pretty sure it was the first album to come out when officially the country got told to stay indoors.
Yeah, like we even did the Wildflower video at home, which
Yep.
Andy did. Like it was all filmed on a camera at home by significant others.
So pretty much the cycle of the way we were going to release music had totally dissipated, and now it was just our phones
Yep.
as a
Yeah.
means to promote our record, and obviously our fan base, and that was it, and somehow this record has managed to get 1 billion streams, which is
That is
crazy.
crazy.
Well, you can see here that we, you know, March 27th, Calm release, May 2nd.
Oh yeah, true.
We immediately start reaping benefits.
That's what it
Because
says
we
here
win
in the
a,
list.
May 2nd, we win a Kids' Choice Award.
So the kids go, we know you couldn't get out there to promote it,
We're
but
still
we
a Kids'
still love
Choice.
you. We
Yep,
still
that's
love
true.
you.
You know what? You know what I'm glad we didn't do? I mean, at this point, I was going to say, I mean, Easy came out like almost a year before, so I'm glad we didn't. But a lot of people didn't release their albums because they didn't want to
No, yeah.
see the success of it go down.
But
and
now, since the pandemic's been raging on for a decade,
Yeah, that feels like forever.
people have ended up releasing their records anyway.
People said, "Fuck it, let's
Yeah.
put it out anyway."
Yeah,
But it's just too long, isn't it? A year between Easier and the album.
it was too long.
It's
It
Yeah.
too
felt
long.
like a billion years.
It's a little too long.
It felt really long.
it was too long.
And then so we, after the record came out, we wanted to do a little bit of promo. And they were like, yeah, so we're going to be doing interviews, but online. And cool, like on Skype.
Yeah.
No, there's a new thing called Zoom.
Should have invested.
Yeah, should have invested in Zoom.
Mm.
So then we end up doing all of our, speaking to everyone on Zoom, and then, we don't even see each other for like a few months after that.
And how do you feel
the
about that?
pandemic. Honestly, it was fucking awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
really great.
Yep.
It's really, really great. Just getting some time.
I mean, it was nice to be alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't alone.
Oh, you went.
No.
Oh, you went alone. Me either. I had yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of the year, we had months and months ago scheduled us to go and do a writing trip together.
Kind of like band camp
Kind of like band camp. We went out to the desert.
with no activities.
Yeah, we were gonna go out to the desert and we were gonna make music together. And at this point, by God, were we not ready to make music? We were kind of just like, what the fuck is happening with the world? Like, what are we doing? And we ended up getting out there and did a week in this in the middle of the desert. And you were sleeping in an attic.
Mm-hmm.
With no bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You were walking.
Anything's a bathroom if you try hard enough, you know.
That's true. And you were walking outside into the blistering cold in the mornings taking a
Yep.
piss.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to wake me up, which is really nice. In a studio that really wasn't set up to be a studio. I guess it was, but
There was some magic about it somehow.
there was
For
some
all of
magic.
its fault.
Yeah.
And I remember after that week, we looked at each other and we were like, okay, we making the next album?
Yeah, it gained momentum pretty quick
It did, really quick.
through there was a lot of resistance again. It was great. We showed up, most of the shit didn't work at the studio, and there were a lot of interesting characters
Floating around.
ripping around, lots of desert folk who we love.
My favorite part about that process was that we chose to make the record then. Like, we chose to start making an album.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past,
Yeah,
it had always been like, we felt like we had to do it. Whereas this time, it was like, we went into it being like, let's do it if we want to.
and it was just us,
Yeah.
because obviously in all the other episodes we've been co-writing.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and this time we didn't have anyone else out there. So it was like a brand new chapter, total new ground for us to stand on, it seemed. Yeah, and that was the beginning of where we're at today, which is here in this podcast
Oh
studio.
yeah.
And here we are. So 2020,
Podcast studio.
write the rest of it off. Here we are, September, in a podcast room. Haven't done anything else all year.
First time I left the house. Thing for me is that this album.
The main
Like-
thing for me is that I'm a fucking prospector
Mm.
over there. The main thing for me is that.
When I get tired, I get prospecty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main thing for me.
You just
The
Wim
Bill
Hof.
Bob Joe.
2021.
This is my favorite album to make so far. We've been making some music, obviously. It's what we do as a band.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. We haven't been making music.
We did a lot of not making music, though. I smoked about 1,000 doobs this year.
It's also was really important, as important as it was for us to
Nice.
make the music that we've made this year.
Yeah.
It was just as important to not make the music.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was.
That's nice.
You gotta
I
live to
really
make.
What are some
like-
lessons you guys have learned? Let's go around the table. I learnt patience is action.
I have a slight dairy intolerance. Learned that last night the hard way.
Same guy.
Just kidding.
Cool, great. You're self-discovering. That's good.
Back the band. Got to back the band.
Back the band, or
Back
no
the
one else
band.
will.
Back the band.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a big animation moment. 3D
Yeah.
maybe? Do we have the budget?
I think it should look like a rainbow.
Maybe
I'm
Sure,
wrong.
sure.
Can it?
Yeah, why not?
Sick.
Yeah, back. You gotta back your buds. You gotta believe in the band. Back your,
Yeah.
back your band.
Not
Right.
back your buds.
I think
Never back your buds.
for
Back your band.
I feel like for us as a band, we've made steps in the last few years because of the previous 10 years or 9 years we just talked about, to everyone around us and the way we view the music we make and put out and tour and stuff, that all of it sort of revolves around we all came together and like wanted to make music because we wanted to, and like I don't know, it felt very liberating for us so far.
Yeah, this year for us has been really, really transitional. You know, we've changed a lot of things. We've changed the way we work a lot, and I think we're just really ready to release what we've kind of been cooking up. We've been cooking. It has been fucking marinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've really been slow cooking it too.
Yeah. Like,
You know, we're not afraid when the dish ain't right. We'll
Yeah.
put it back in.
yeah.
It's
It's
gonna
all right.
fall off the bone.
It's got to fall off the
yeah.
bone.
Oh, it's
It's
yeah.
gotta
you know,
fall off the bone.
So it's not a
Hungry.
vegan record, but
no,
Yeah.
but it,
By
is-
no
it
means.
is. It doesn't have dairy in it because obviously Luke's
Yeah, intolerant.
Yeah.
intolerant.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I think we just looked back, we gained a bit of maturity, and we're like, what don't we like? And how do we solve those things? And how do we create more space for joy with our relationship with music?
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
how do we grow into a band that has a real relationship with the fans still? And that comes from us digging deep into what our abilities are. Yeah. We've been kind of pursuing all the best parts of us and working on them. It's like as if 5 Seconds of Summer were a person, and it's like some self-work's been happening.
I think for me the biggest thing that I've noticed change within the band is that I feel like we're finally not running away from the past. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're finally not shying away from, you know, the people that we were and the band that we were, and you know, I think we've realized that like evolving and changing over the years, and as long as you've been a group, or I mean whatever you're doing, you know, not even related to music, but like it doesn't always look the same, and that journey has always got to be different, and it's got to have highs, lows, and it's got to have different like evolutions, and you have to do things wrong to get things right. And I think that
Yeah.
for us, I think we've finally been able to like acknowledge the past in
Mhm.
our own way, and we needed the time to be able to like reflect on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we're using it as a compass.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be amazing. Well, because the intentions have been different, so we'll see how it all manifests. You know, that's the cool thing we get to share with whoever's listening now.
Right.
Exactly.
Because it could turn into something totally brand new now, because we haven't made it the same way. We haven't spoken about it the same way. We haven't attempted to, yeah.
I also think like this album would not sound the way it does or feel the way it does without that time
Mhm.
at home. We were lucky enough to be at home and just sort of like make music or hang out or whatever.
Mhm.
But it wouldn't, if we had gone on the No Shame tour, would have
Mhm.
been rad. Would have been that reality is really cool too. But it wouldn't have. I don't think our headspaces would have been collectively as good as they are now, and the music
Yeah.
would not sound the way
No,
the way it does.
That's what I think. I think we needed space to reflect and to like be ourselves in a situation that isn't to do with us. You know what I mean? As far as when it comes to like being a band, you know, we spent most of 2020 basically not being a band, and I think that when we were able to like bring it all back in for this one, I think it's stronger than ever.
I agree.
Definitely.
Disclaimer.
It's not what I remember. It's just what I said. I don't know.
I feel like
It's not who I am, it's just what I was.
you know what I think in 10 years I feel like I can't tell if this time will be as hard to remember or if it's gonna,
No.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it'll be
a
easier,
lot easier.
right?
I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be easier.
Yeah, because you're conscious of it. You're conscious of
Conscious
forgetting
of remembering.
And
Conscious of remembering.
no, this isn't what happened, but I'm just conscious of remembering.
I say that, but
Well,
I,
you
I
know
couldn't
what?
tell you
I mean,
what
it's
did
such a
last week.
lesson. What were you saying, dude? Sorry, I spoke over you. You were talking about some shit you did last week.
No, go on. I didn't have anything.
I was just saying, don't live in the future.
Yeah.
Live in the
That's
past.
what we've been doing our whole career, though. We've been like, okay, what do we do to get here? What do we do to get here? What do we do to get here? What do we do to get here for 10 years?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that's
just
so
That's why you
fuck
don't.
it.
That's why you don't remember anything
Yeah,
because you
no.
weren't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Nah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
You know, so it's
Wow.
like this next one. I feel like the band is like ready to just experience with no judgment.
Yep.
Mate, I totally agree.
Well
So
said.
that was very funny though.
It's not what happened. It's the things we can't forget.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's just what
Is
I
that
was
closer?
conscious for.
It's disclaimer. What you can't forget was never what was conscious for.
Yeah.
What I remember isn't what happened. It's just what I
Mm.
said.
Don't live in the
happened.
future. Live in the past.
What I need is not what I want.
And,
Yeah.
and what I want
Isn't what I remember.
isn't what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll.
I
end
think
the
that tops
podcast
it
there.
off.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna.
What
Oh
year
yeah,
is it?
thanks for following this series we made out of nowhere. I guess we're on the 10th episode now,
Yeah.
and you've been following the whole time because this is the best entertainment you've ever received, and you just can't get enough. If you want more, you just gonna have to wait and see if we're gonna give you more.
We're gonna close out with "Cold" by Maroon 5.
Oh, what? Such a weird B-side. Such a banger though.
Thank you so much for having us, iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
This is the biggest song in the country right now. It's
What would it be? I reckon. Should we try make
I like that.
predictions? Here's the top 5 in December when this comes out.
okay.
December.
I
Okay.
reckon.
On our Spotify page or just from the
No,
album?
in like pop.
Yeah. So Ed
Oh.
Sheeran. What's it gonna be called?
I think Dill is probably gonna drop
Divided
something.
like times minus
Time.
Pie?
Ed Sheeran pie. Yeah,
Pie.
that'll be in there.
The next one. Is he gonna fucking get a trigonometry?
I reckon.
P.I. Ed Sheeran P.I.
Ed Sheeran.
I reckon
Yeah, because I love pie.
It's also a maths thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe Dua Lipa will have. Oh wait,
Think-
we're not doing that. We're not doing predictions. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Dua Lipa will have another one.
Yeah,
Dua-
what will
Dua-
that be called?
Dula Peep.
That'll be called like floating.
That's a
Yeah,
good song.
still
Anyway,
needs to
here's
talk
"Cold" by
shit.
Maroon 5.
At the end of the whole series.
Oh, we're taking time off for time out.
Doesn't make any
Take
sense.
the in between.
That was the 11th episode. This is Cold by Maroon 5. Cold
Okay.
enough to.
Oh, we're taking time off.
All right, we're
time
done.
out. Acting like we're not together.